Yo, what is up? This is a weird time to go live. This is a weird time to go live on not like an LCS playoff, LCS final, LEC something, you know. It's crazy to go. Is there any weight behind the 100 Thieves Niski rumor? Well, they couldn't even get him, right? They couldn't even get Niski if they wanted to because, I mean, they would have to remove Someday, and then they would have to, they'd have to remove Someday or Closer to get Niski. So, yeah, not happening, not happening. Just bangers. Should we just... I was thinking about playing on stream, or I was thinking about taking the day off, but like, fuck it. I mean, I said I was going to stream today. I just slept way too long. It's the first time I've slept like that in a while. But I normally sleep like shit. Like, I'm the type of person that normally sleeps like 4 to 5 hours, wakes up, maybe gets like 1 more hour later on. Like, I have fucked up sleep. So, it's super rare that I actually go to sleep at like midnight, 1 a.m., and I sleep to like 10, you know? Even. So I woke up at noon today to go to sleep at like 12. Really fucking interesting. Someday I have a green card? I have no idea. Just hypothetical, but do you think Demonte could be a great top laner if he role swap to top? Probably not. I don't think he'd be a great top laner. I think he's just like he's a mid laner that needs to play his style. And you have to buy into his style and accept that that's going to be your team. Which 100 Thieves weren't willing to do. But yeah, there's 2 series that I want to cover. I want to make sure I cover on stream before we get into finals. I will live view LPL finals on the 18th. So I'm either going to do 1 series right now or 2 series right now. We'll see how it goes. We're going to start with RNG versus TES. And then we might move on to RNG versus EDG afterwards. Not 100% sure. We're either going to do 1 today, 1 tomorrow, or we're going to do both today. We'll see how it goes. Can you share the FPX series from Doomby's point of view in Twitter? I checked them and I can't believe they have so little views. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to just like make people aware of it because I mean, it's some of the best content out. It is literally some of the best content, League of Legends content, period, that you can consume and no one actually knows it exists. So I'll definitely do something at some point directing people to that shit for sure. Why does no one spectate LPL? Timing, and then I don't think there's been ever like any personalities from the West that were like known that covered it. And they used to have like really weird stream schedule and everything. It wasn't until the last like couple of years that LPL got everything together. But I think that LPL is like right now they have like all the infrastructure set. Like they have good casters. They have all the games streamed. They have their own Discord that I'm actually in, the LPL official Discord, where they do like a lot of different stuff, like a bunch of different things. They have like memes, videos, articles written. Like they try to involve the community. They announce things on LPL. You have like the Twitter feed, the YouTube, the schedule. Everything is just like already in the Discord. And yeah, they have like AMA submissions where you can like ask questions and then they try to relay them to players and get you responses. They have like a prediction. They have a playoff prediction channel. But yeah, I mean, I think that they are doing pretty well in terms of like creating an active community. So I think that the people that end up liking LPL end up sticking around. It's just about getting more people aware, which has been the whole point of what I've been doing recently. I feel like this year I've been trying to just put in more effort into making people aware of LPL, even if the viewership is low. Like I was live viewing LPL matches with like 1K viewers, you know, like I was fucking trying to do whatever I could. Now I'm VOD reviewing because I think that it gets more eyes on it. So yeah, now I VOD review every single LPL series of playoffs. And I try to just like bring up the topics on podcasts. I mean, I had Nelson on my streams. He's a former LPL coach. I'm trying to do what I can to make people more aware because I think that just generally speaking, I think that if you start watching LPL, you will just end up enjoying professional League of Legends more. I think it's the most fun league to watch. I think it's high quality gameplay. That's also entertaining, which I think is like the sweet spot for pro content, right? Like LCS is like low quality and not super entertaining, because people play very like conservatively. I would say LEC is like low medium quality, but like pretty entertaining. And then I would say that like LCK would be medium to high quality, but unentertaining. And I think LPL is high quality and very entertaining. So I think that it's just by far the best league to watch. But yeah, let's fucking get into the games. RNG versus TES, game 1. Let's fucking get into it.
In the hecker.
And already...
So I like the Nautilus pick here. An instant answer here with the 369 Scion.
Okay.
So Top Esports had the trap.
So,
you called it,
game 1. Wait, this is the right one, right? Yeah, okay, this is the right one. Dude, sometimes I'm confused because all the stages are different because they play different locations. All right, so game 1. This is just classic fucking Xiaohu, bro. Like, this is the thing that I love about Xiaohu. So for those of you that aren't familiar and haven't watched a lot of the RNG series, or maybe you've only watched the was it the RNG FPX series? I think it was RNG FPX series where Xiaohu was just kind of playing like Gnar every game. Xiaohu's known in LPL. Number one, he's one of the most historic mid laners in LPL history. Now he plays top lane. He's known for picking like a bunch of mid lane champions top. Like pretty much anything they pick mid, they can flex the top. He plays all of it. Orianna, Syndra, Tristana, Lucian top, and then he plays all the normal like top laners on top of it. So this guy is a really, really scary player. Lucian first pick. I assume they first picked it of the draft. Let me see. Oh no, it was Hecarim first pick. But yeah, Lucian for them is always going to be a flex. So Renekton Nidalee on the side of TES was taken. Tristana was taken as well. The Lucian flexed to top. And yeah, Tristana ends up going bottom. I feel like TS's comp is actually dog shit here. I hate TS's comp here. I feel like it's way, way, way too magic or way too AD heavy. There's not enough magic damage in this comp at all. Like, Nidalee is not the type of champion that can do magic damage for an entire team the same way, like, Lilia and Karthus can, so I really hate the Nidalee pick here. The advantage is obviously Nidalee Renekton, really powerful mid-jungle. The enemy mid laner can get one shot, anytime he gets flash stunned by Renekton. So there's obviously that, option there for TS. I just feel like, in general, comps like this are pretty rough, especially when you have like triple frontline into a team comp that's pretty good at killing frontline. Like Kai'Sa is relatively low range, but pretty decent at killing frontline because of passive. Victor ends up being really strong. Lucian ends up being strong. So I feel like there's like not enough range on the side of TS's comp, and RNG just kind of like have a relatively like short range comp that's good into TS because TS is a bunch of like melees and frontliners. All right, let's get into the game.
Esports, the current defending LPL champions, and they're both just fighting to survive right now.
And taking a quick glance.
Hey Dom, YouTube watcher only here. When am I gonna go over the new TFT set? Dude, I actually am down for the TFT, the new set. I'm down to play it on stream a little bit in the off season. Maybe like a couple days a week I'll play some TFT on stream. But I'm actually down. I had my interest for TFT spiked up again when they did like the whatever it is, like the World Championship. I watched it a little bit and I actually thought TFT was in a pretty good spot. So I'm interested in it. I'd be willing to do it. TFT is actually like, it's really, I think TFT is really underrated. People like flame it for no reason.
With that Renekton and these stuns set up there.
Oh, Xiaohu failed an auto attack, canceled an auto attack before he short dashed. He's all about the short dash tech though, he knows. Generally speaking, Xiaohu's Lucian has been really good though. Let's see how it goes in the game.
Very much one of the comfort champions for Cryan, so you can expect him to position correctly. He'll know this matchup against the Renekton. It may look like a crazy pick in the mid lane. Here in the LPL, Renekton mid is not that rare. All of the mid laners are perfectly versed in this kind of matchup.
Yeah, Renekton mid is just completely normal here in LPL. Ward on the Wraiths from Victor, really good ward. In solo queue, you should be putting this ward if you're a mid laner all the time. It gives you so much information. It shows if you do it after the second wave, it shows if the enemy jungler is crossing over and potentially like 3 camping, or if they're full clearing their red side. So against junglers like Nidalee that have a lot of potential to vary their pathing, I think this ward has a lot of value. Because you learn instantly from it, like, what's possible. But look at the pathing from Karsa, by the way. Look at his pathing. This is such good pathing. He did red, golems, wraiths, they saw him get level 3 off rates, or they know that he did a full clear of his top side. So then you'd normally expect him to at least go like clear bot side, at least 2 camps into crab. And look at what Karsa does. He only does wolves into crab because he knows that this gank will be really unexpected. I love this.
As well,
This is one of the things that Karsa is best at.
Nidalee combo in goes Knight. Spear should follow up, but doesn't actually throw it just yet. Waits for the flash. The spear dodge by
No, it's good. It's fine. It's fine. He was too far for the original spear, but yeah, I mean that's the power of Renekton Nidalee, man. You don't even need to land the spear in a situation like that. Really good pathing. Super good pathing. I love that shit. That's one of the things that I appreciate most. All right, Joe going pretty aggressive there with that trade.
We said Drow likes to go a little bit too aggressive, almost died.
He knows that the enemy jungler is topside though, because bot side leashed, so he's chilling here.
All things neutralized. You can see Wei moved up towards the top side, but the dive that we talked about potentially going on doesn't happen for now.
Karsa's Nidalee's a different champion. Well, like his Nidalee isn't like super skill intensive. His Nidalee is more like he's just a really smart player. That's how I think of Karsa. Karsa's Nidalee is like the Chinese version. Obviously he's Taiwanese, but I'm saying Chinese because he's in LPL. It's literally just the Chinese version of Yankos. It's the Chinese Yankos Nidalee. Yeah, and Joe can just flash on this guy here.
Round number 2 for poor little Victor.
Oh, crying. This ain't pretty. There's the stud flash from Joel.
I mean, really well played. Like, and then they bring the support to mid at 4 minutes, punish the guy for having no flash. This is the type of shit that you need to do if you're going to be playing Renekton mid. It's so respectable, man. It's so fucking respectable.
This is just such a well-executed plan from Draft. You know, the trap card coming out that the Renekton was going into the mid lane, and it wasn't just about Xiaohu up into the top side, you know, banning away the Udyr, knowing that Karsa would look towards this Hecarim and how Hecarim is a bit more farm dependent and less gank dependent.
Oh, wow. Wei wants blood. Holy shit. Oh my god. Jesus.
Solo kills him.
All right, bro. Jesus, man. How many NA junglers would see this opportunity and instantly kill a Renekton at this point?
This Hecarim and how Hecarim is a bit more farm dependent and less gank dependent, although he will chase the skater. No flash.
Jesus.
Wei does not care about this. Oh my god.
Hecarim balanced, by the way, but like that's literally the best part about Hecarim.
He just gets completely taken down, overstepped on the Raptors, and Wei doesn't even need help.
Like you shouldn't be able to chase a mid laner down that much unless they come to your Raptor camp.
Wei's gonna kill him. The Wei was like, oh yes, I'm gonna kill him.
Wei does not care about expectations. He will go if he sees the opportunity.
Really well played from Wei there, though, to recognize that opportunity and like commit so hard on it.
RNG, which does slow the tempo a little bit for top esports, especially when Knight is the guy that they're playing through. Right?
Did I hear about the Niski to 100 Thieves rumor? I've heard about it. I don't know where it came from though, or where it originated.
Sort of gold here. So already first back has Lucidity boots, which the CDR, ability haste, is going to help him A, stay topped up in his jungle, but also B, translates into damage for Hecarim because of the way that movement speed works on that DS champion. Really fun. But this is going to be the third cycle of jungle for Karsa, for Wei. So you can already see that he's got level 6 with assistance from that kill pickup. He's going to go to his Krug camp, which is going to be spawning right now, and he could even be set up for a gank on bot lane.
Alright, Wei wants to influence the bottom side of the map here. JackieLove has stepped too far forward. The hook from Ming is perfect.
Damn. So that ulti from Wei was to predict JackieLove's flash. So if JackieLove flashes there, if JackieLove flashes there, he gets hit by the ult. If he doesn't flash, he has a very small window to flash when Wei's E goes in. Because if you flash at the right time, Hecarim's E will knock you in the wrong direction. It's really hard to do though.
Before you get level 6, but obviously if you're participating in a kill, especially when you're the pickup of it, it's going to make it that much faster. So they should have known that Wei was on the bottom side of the map. You know, maybe they're feeling confident. You can see that Joe's even kind of posturing.
That's such a good hook. Feels like he's behind the minion.
And feeling confident the fact that JackieLove had flash and rocket jump, but really nice CC management from RNG.
Yeah, the hook was too crazy.
Yeah, this is the problem.
I mean, I like watching League like this. Like this is good League, man.
This one, unfortunate. on that side. And actually, it's Top Esports that start the game with the 2 kills onto Cryan, but the latest 2 kills have been from RNG. It feels like RNG have regained control.
May's been playing really well. Yeah, he's one of the best supports in China for sure.
Hecarim versus Nidalee, I'm not entirely sure which
I mean,
jungler is
him,
most
Mako,
likely to
Crisp,
be
they're all insane.
It's probably going to be the Hecarim at this point, especially now that he also has his Bomby Sender, so heading towards that chemo tank. But you can see that Karsa's spending his time trying to get some deep vision on Hecarim. One of the biggest issues is how you have to ward against him because he is so fast. You can't use the traditional shallow wards because he'll just be on top of you even if you do have the information. So hopefully these deeper wards will help a little bit more keep Top Esports' lanes a bit safer. But right now, Wei is really starting to pull away with this game. Because such a powerful champion is getting such a massive lead.
No pun intended, I assume, but yeah, you're absolutely right, Wei. Now it gets to move up towards the Rift Herald. You can see neither AD carry is going to be moving up to the top side of the map for this, but both supports will be in the vicinity. The Top Esports grouping up like this, I think they might go for the contest. Knight is over the wall. Xiaohu could be an easy target. Flash immediately forced.
Okay, 369 ults in. The support move first. Jostana is moving across the map for this.
Backing up from the side.
This is actually like a decent time to move though.
You can see him in the mid lane on the minimap.
So here, like I want to talk about this. I'll talk about this during the next lull.
Herald goes down.
But like when TES does this move, they do it when they have bot prio and they move the AD carry when the AD carry doesn't lose anything and they're not going to lose anything bot for it, you know? So they already have the wave pushed in and Kai'Sa is resetting. So when they lean their AD carry, they're not giving up 2 plates plus 2 waves, right? They're just giving up 3 melee minions and I guess 1 plate. They gave up 3 melee minions and 1 plate here, which is much less of a risk. Like this is worth it because if you view Herald as 2 plates, then you essentially have benefited off this Herald move, right? Like you gain 2 plates and lose 1 plate and 3 melee minions.
I'm not even memeing when I say you look happier watching old LPL videos than watching LCS, Region Doomed. Also 100 Tiniski equals FNC Tommy.
The amount of plates you can get from the Herald, so if you can trade it, then that can work out for you.
No, I mean,
like RNG opt to do this
watching old LPL videos. I mean, these videos are like these VODs are from what, like how long are these VODs from? Like a week ago, maybe less than a week ago. They're not like super old, and yeah, I mean the gameplay is higher quality. Like you'd have to be delusional to say that TES versus RNG is lower quality than C9 and TL. Like you just have to lie to yourself, or have not watched, or have no game knowledge.
It's weird.
But think about all the mistakes that happened in the C9 series.
They're in a good position that they can actually contest this dragon.
And then think about like how the entire early game has been essentially good plays after good plays. Joe's not level 6 here. TS lose.
On this Leona, he's pretty
the double flash out. That's actually pretty interesting the way that RNG does that. They know that the enemy team started dragon, so instead of like with that ward, instead of actually walking to dragon and trying to contest it, they know how fast Lily's doing it, so they camp the tri-bush that they have that they had already swept. So they camp the tri-bush and catch the bot lane in the rotation.
Paying attention to Renekton versus Victor and being like, oh yeah, Renekton's actually stronger right now. Top Esports can feel confident. But I did pay attention to the bot laners because look at Kai'Sa's itemization to Tristana right now. Of course Wei was going to walk through the bot lane and just use that powerhouse Kai'Sa of having the Kraken available to hard force top off of this dragon.
Gyro to back off. Yeah, I mean, game's not going as well for RNG as you'd hope.
So they're able to just brute force there. Karsa has to go up towards the top side. Has the Herald, remember. We saw him take that earlier, so he'll be able to get himself a Grump, but also can slam that Herald onto the top tower. The problem is, with a Scion, not really the best target to give that gold to if you can help it, so Karsa might hold off on that one. It certainly would have been an opportunity as Cryan is in trouble. Knight, both of them get stunned simultaneously, just stood next to each other, holding hands in the lane. Joe now getting dived, knocked up here.
Ming's dead. Oh, never mind. Joe wasn't able to trade it. Oh, Ming has Merc Treads, that's why he couldn't chain it. Probably has Unflinching as well. TS is making the topside play, so RNG tries to crossmap bot, and then the crossmap bot is stifled by the Knight TP.
But also the fact that, hold on.
Could be a flash.
Oh, the spear?
That's a kill. Never mind. It's not. It's not a flash. It's a kill.
They managed to put
You
it
are
down.
to make the Lucian dash, and then you E him, which guarantees the Q, which guarantees the spear. Well played. Honestly, well played from TES top side here.
The success that Knight did, the fact that he shoved the wave into Cryan, that he got a really good chip on him, traded ultimates, and then also got the teleport, meant that Top Esports looked really good cross map. But then Top Esports get the cherry on top by also finding the kill on Xiaohu. And already, this looks like such a different beast than what we saw against EDG. Now, I will pump the brakes a little bit and say we've seen Top Esports.
Thorn did flame Frusker. Yeah, I mean, it's weird because she had, like, the thing that I don't like about when people, like, virtue signal, like, when you're like, oh, like, the LEC broadcast is blindingly white, like, if that's your opinion and you're gonna stick to that opinion, then when you go and cast LPL and you're with, like, all white casters, then you should also, like, have that same opinion, that the LPL cast is too white. The English-speaking cast doesn't have as much diversity.
And it feels like Carsa has been.
Like, I agree with that premise. Like, you should be consistent in your beliefs. If you actually think that, you know, the LEC broadcast has, like, an issue, like they're overemploying, like, white people or whatever, then if you go cast LPL and everyone's white, like, that should also bother you, I guess.
And you can really feel that in this game as he's winning on the farm. He's winning across the map, using that Herald beautifully. This feels like a game where Carsa can flourish.
And I feel like it also really changes the responsibility that Carsa has to his team and to those team fights that we keep talking about.
What are my thoughts on the Promise Q situation?
We saw Carsa pretty much on Hecarim duty.
I don't know. It's weird to see Promise Q egoing on people in solo queue and he's, like, underperforming. I feel like it feels really bad when you're underperforming in competitive. It's, like, super hard to ego on people when you're not having a good split, but whatever.
Him topped off, protect his AD carry, give him that big steroid. He can scout vision and just start trying to snipe people out with spears. So I think it gives Carsa a lot more tools for his skill expression and a lot more ways that he can impact individual skirmishes and fights rather than what the Hecarim was available for him in the 5v5s yesterday.
Even with the Kraken Slayer, they do 0 damage to that Scion. Scion is super far ahead. It's interesting to see the Herald use top and, like, TES to be playing through the Scion. I guess that's something that wouldn't be considered, like, it wouldn't be considered, like, the optimal way to play with this type of team comp. You'd think that if you have Herald in the situation, you need to get your bot lane ahead, but I think that it was just opportunity. They knew the enemy team was bot side. They could get 2 turrets and a kill if they drop Herald top.
Bramble.
Yep, able to flash away over the wall here. Very respectful flash, honestly, from 369.
Yeah, 369 flashed. I'm not sure if he needs to flash there. Like, he could at least get more out before he flashes.
This is elimination matches. No more messing around for top.
If
honestly,
yeah, if Kaitza ults on him, then maybe he can flash out.
They really have to prove themselves in.
I mean, he's gonna get hooked 100%, but I just think he's, like, so insanely tanky. It's really hard for him to die here.
It's not been looking like it in playoffs so far. It's time for them to prove themselves as the Herald goes down mid.
This is a really good play from RNG if Gala and Ming can actually get back into position, though. So they push through topside. They're now sprinting mid lane, and they want to fight here if Top Esports overextend on this Herald push. But already, both teams much tighter on their macro plays. Top Esports did not overcommit like they were against EDG. They get the second charge from the Herald. They do not press their luck, and they immediately pull back to get some pretty key itemization for the dragon spawning in 30 seconds. So far, I've been loving what I've seen from both teams.
Slow game, only 5 kills. I don't feel like this has been that slow of a game. There's been a lot of stuff happening. Not everything has resulted in a kill, but there's, like, a decent amount of fighting, decent amount of trading summoners and things like that. So
how they set up for this? What way
it's completely fine.
Where are they putting their vision, and how are they going to execute the team fights?
That would be the big question, is how does Top Esports do in those team fights? And when you look at the series between RNG and FPX, it was a very one-sided series, but one of the huge positives for RNG across that series was the teleport plays that we got to see. Both Xiaohu and Cryan have TPs available.
Okay, TP behind from the Victor.
TP from Cryan coming through. 369 going to use his ulti to get out of here. Just about.
Cryan had to flash away from Knight, but I mean, I'm pretty sure he can't tank the Scion ulti. If he tanks the Scion ulti, I'm pretty sure he just dies. So it's just a weird time, a weird place to TP for Cryan.
Decision that says, not today. I'm not taking this car accident today.
So here's the TP from the Scion. Scion has no ulti. I mean, I think RNG have to give this up. I feel like RNG can't actually contest this. Yeah, they definitely can't contest it now. Gala just took damage for no reason. They pulled the NA here, actually. Wait. They're winning the fight? I'm really surprised RNG is winning this fight. They shouldn't be able to win this, I don't think. Wow, I'm really surprised that that fight went that well for RNG. Gala didn't even have to flash or cleanse. But that looked pretty rough.
Felt like Top Esports were winning the fight, but actually, the picks come out from RNG.
Top Esports did manage to get away with the Ocean Dragon, and it was really good zone control. It still felt like pretty clean fighting, although I want to give credit for Top of grabbing the dragon and being like, we're not going to push her life.
Has there been Viego play time in any region? Well, I mean, it's not allowed to be played in competitive, so... Oh my god, okay.
Caught.
Well,
alright.
Cryan is not having
That's
a
a
good
kill.
time in the 1v1.
Flash Stride Breaker.
It's fair to say that, but this is not why they picked the Victor. Let's just forget about this.
Victor is literally here just to be a body and to be zone control. So as we take another look,
How do they win this so hard?
Gets chunked out pretty heavily.
I mean, I guess Knight here,
Sure that no one can
damn, Knight gets one shot. I mean, Knight uses ulti when Cryan flash, so I guess that's part of it.
Away from 369, who was pressuring on him, and then with the
Did think this was going to be a completely one fight. It was a good ulti from Wei as well, though.
Enough zone control that Gala and Xiao, who were able kind of to dance around and pick off key members of Top Esports to kind of make them even across the board in the fight. That said, Top still got the dragon, they still have the gold lead, and Knight is still a really big problem.
Yeah, it does feel like, kind of weirdly, Top Esports are finding themselves advantages, and as you rightly say, Dragon not...
Wait, where is the rumor? Why is everyone talking about a rumor of Niski to 100 Thieves? Where did it come from?
Usually, what we expect out of Top Esports, we usually expect them to have 369 as one of the real points of strength on the map. So definitely a different look for them, but you can feel how much safer both of these teams are playing comparatively to their last series, right? Top Esports especially, there's the Jackie Love effect, right? That's what Forest Within has dubbed it, where this team loves to push for too much. They love to overextend. We're not seeing that so far in this game, and that feels like a welcome change for the squad.
Yeah, Jackie Love really takes after Uzi sometimes, and where he can have, you know, incredible international performances, but domestically sometimes you just gotta get the int out of your system. Sometimes you just gotta flash forward when you shouldn't flash forward. You gotta W into multiple people. You have to overstay your welcome because you need that one more wave or that one more plate. So far though, this game,
I mean, if Niski joined 100 Thieves, they'd be 10 times better instantly. That would be huge for them. They'd probably instantly be better than TSM if Niski was the mid laner.
With a pretty hefty lead. So I think that this game is really actually going to come back to, can Karsa find valuable spears that just, you know, completely make team fights lopsided? And can 369 find strong engagements alongside Knight to get onto the backline and kind of pop or threaten Gala, where the range from Tristana can be the difference here, even though Jackie Love is down in itemization.
Yeah, and I want to mention that itemization in a second as well, but I do just quickly need to... Big PSA here. We're past 20 minutes.
This is 15K, Andy. He's not leaving Korea. He has to, you have to see how it
the drop of a hat
how it stays.
To start this Baron if RNG
Like, you really have to just see how the
that in your mind at all times.
yeah,
As you rightly say,
how the viewership progresses over time. That's like the hardest part about that type of viewership. It's like same thing happened. Like when I went to Europe, like people like when you're playing in low elo more than when you're playing in high elo. When I went to Europe, I was instantly getting like 12, 13K viewers. And then by the end of it, like once I actually got Challenger, like when I actually got Challenger, I was down to like maybe like 6 or 7K. Like people care more about when you're smurfing on everyone, like more than like when you're actually like getting to the high ranks. So you have to see how, and like the novelty wears off of it as well. Like your first couple streams, people were like, holy shit, Dom's in Europe. And then like by the next ones, they're like, all right, like I guess he's still in Europe.
Like a Renekton, like a Leona, a lot of resistances to get through.
Yeah, this is front to back.
Twitch didn't send me the notification that you were streaming. Yeah, they're probably too busy sending out the OnlyFans notifications for IndieFox and Amaranth to get around to like, you know, my notification of like a gameplay stream or a fucking League of Legends video game stream.
As opposed to just straight up team fighting in the late game.
I just think while it is possible, and of course Lucian, you know, if he's left to his own devices, can just beat on Sion or Renekton. If he ever has one of them get on top of him, it becomes a very different story. So I still find it a bit of a skill matchup. a little bit easier because he has the Heck Realm on his side.
RNG starting Baron here.
There we are.
They have Kraken Slayer and Essence Reaver Gale Force completed on the Lucian as well.
Yeah, Crocodile's
I
pretty
don't
good
think
as
Gala
well.
will go for this. I
Goes
think he
deep
just
on this
ints if
one.
he does.
Get out with the stride
I mean, I think
break.
the front to back, this is when RNG's comp should be able to just do enough damage to get through the Scion.
Do not expect RNG to TP up to start the Baron. The top esports just woke up like, yeah, wards exist, guys. Don't worry about it.
I think it was RNG actually trying to play on the Dragon, thinking that top esports would commit to the Drake and then give RNG kind of the, do you have this warded check to trade Baron for it? Now, you were just talking about the 1-4 potential that RNG could have with that Lucian. Well, obviously, not having the flash means that they have to team fight now.
Here we go, team fights in. 369 gets a good knock up onto Cryan, but JackeyLove...
Gala just got onto JackeyLove. JackeyLove is dead. There's no damage if JackeyLove dies. That's the thing about TS's team comp. If JackeyLove dies, their damage is completely gone.
Do a lot of work. Knight once again kills
It's a
Cryan.
one-threat comp.
18th time this game. RNG overall win the fight because Draw's been caught as well.
Joe's dead. It should be hard win for RNG.
Car's actually going into the fray towards Gala, but doesn't have the damage to finish the kills off. 369 trying to protect the jungler. Flashes forward, but Gala is
Tried to flash Q. Gala respect flashed it. Not bad.
Carso trying his best to give
Cryan
this
is TP in
superhero
15.
moment. I cannot believe
This
he's
is,
going into that.
Knight's
But
TP.
369 covering him with the devastating smash, and Knight is just trying to see if he can get anything else, but what a crucial team fight for
So that's the
RNG
random
line right there.
20 minutes LPL Baron you always refer to. It's like the thing that I talk about is not really them doing the Baron. It's that they're willing to start hitting the Baron once they're tanky enough. Once they know that they can tank the Baron without losing much health, they'll consistently start the Baron to force action, force people to TP, force people to check. They force stuff by going to the Baron.
Won this team fight because they basically can only play the 5v5s until they have that TP back up. We called this.
I mean, JackeyLove didn't even play it poorly.
Because the team fight was so scattered.
Not much you can do there.
She actually just zipped down and
Flash ulti from Ming. Wei ults him. JackeyLove flashes it, then E's him. Gala collapses towards him.
He takes his hands off the key.
It's really hard.
There's nothing. I can't do anything.
I can only W buffer so much. I want to quickly talk about Gala before we get another fight, because I got a feeling this game pace is going to start to really pick up now. Gala Kai'Sa has been his most played champion of the split. He's got 13 games on the Kai'Sa this year and has almost a 70% win rate on that pick. This has been an absolute key pick for RNG, and it feels like Gala is so comfortable in this front-to-back style of the Kai'Sa, and it feels like the rest of RNG as well are so good at playing around Gala when it gets to these late game team fights.
Yeah, it was really beautiful, and it wasn't just, you know, RNG setting up Gala. You did give him the credit there, but like you're saying, you know, it was his flash at the last second to deny Carso the assassination kill when Carso tried to go, you know, beast mode into the back line. It was his positioning. He's just been incredibly...
I mean, Lucian is super strong at this point.
Number one, and unfortunately, for all of top esports lead, again, when it comes to these big...
We need a hot tub
fights,
stream
comes
for
to
the culture.
setup, they have messy
Man,
fights,
I actually hate that that's like... I know people like ironically talk about it. I hate that that is like actually endorsed so heavily by Twitch, and that's like where the platform is heading.
Not even looking for a really deep flank here, but you know, this is typically where top esports fans start to sweat a bit.
But I mean, it's really not on the content creators that do that. It's on Twitch to like regulate what they want on their platform.
Where's
Ages
369
on tonight.
going?
Dominate's going to have to be used. Gala could have been caught out though. Ming's in trouble.
369's on Gala.
From the fight on this one as Cryan is there. 369's found Gala. He's 1v1.
Gala is getting 1v1 by the Scion. Well played.
That is one tanky boy, and he just got 1,000 gold in his.
And Knight was able to stall the whole backline with the stopwatch.
Went down, so jungle advantage in favor of RNG, but they're pinned right now. As top esports look for the flank. Knight can jump over the wall. Doesn't have Dominus here, but 369 could be the...
I mean, now that JackeyLove is up, I think TS is in a much better position to win. Oh my god, JackeyLove's jump got stopped by the gravity field.
Cryan goes down yet again to the crocodile. He's got crocophobia in this game. As Ming now trying to desperately get away. Xiao, who's still full health. Maybe he can carry the fight. Maybe that could be what happens, but the flash stun comes out.
Flash stun?
The follow-up isn't quite there.
I think JackeyLove got him.
Will it be enough to...
Oh my god, that's not enough. Jesus. JackeyLove's jump, if JackeyLove's jump didn't get canceled there by the gravity field,
Okay,
he
very messy
would
team
have
fight.
for sure just killed them
Also
all.
a really weird team fight. 369 was looking for a deep flank
Twitch is
on
becoming
15
softcore
before
chatterbait
fighting
with gaming
around
channels, I
Gala,
guess.
and
Yeah, I
he
mean, that's,
took
I mean,
the
you're not
same
wrong. I
route
just think that it's
to
like
get into
weird
the fight.
to
He
me.
found Gala and was like, hey, this is exactly where I want to be anyway. Good news is that the Scion then gets a 1,000 gold shutdown bonus. Like, look at your minimap. Look at 369. He's like, hello tower. Hello Wolf Camp. Hello Gala. Finally finds the Kaisa. Now,
He's a tourist.
I know, right? Does pay off really massively here. We'll see how this translates in terms of his itemization for the next team fight.
1,000 gold to the Scion. Scion's huge. 3 items.
It's just been an absolute mess. We keep talking about front to back.
If Victor's not hitting him, it's going to be really hard to kill him.
This is just skirmish on skirmish. All 10 people are in the same area, but it's like a 2v2 over here or 1v1 over here. It's just like mud wrestling.
Yeah, it feels like both teams playing with.
Knight's got a flank.
Knight is a secret agent in the backline. Min is 0.
Gala has still no flash.
7 on the scoreboard, but Knight's been spotted by Wei.
Damn. So they're just willing to take the fight directly into Ming. Ming didn't get his ult off either. He's just dead.
Immediately in this one is 369.
Wei's trying to get Knight off the flank. Didn't get the ult that he wanted though. Gala can't ult there to follow it up either. They have to give this drag.
Huge cooldown now.
Dragon is actually super annoying to give over though to like a Scion team.
Casa has the smite available, finishes the Drake, Xiaohu with the culling.
I mean, Wei has no flash. I don't think that there's any world where RNG can fight this. I don't know why they're walking up. I think they're griefing by walking up here.
He's able to get one trades effectively, but Gala now on his.
Wow, they're actually winning the fight.
Jackie Love saves Gala's life. It's a disaster for top esports. Crying has been pretty useful in this game and continues to be so.
It ends up being okay. I feel like that was not good for RNG to fight after the dragon was gone. Like, they didn't have Hecarim ult. Nollis was already dead. I mean, I guess they had Gala's ult and they had Cryan there, who's pretty strong at this point. Even though he's 2 and 6.
Top esports still coming out on top. They're now looking for their Mountain Soul, and we just talked about the massive gold that 369 was able to get. Look at how tanky he is. In the duration that Ming hits the CC, he just instantly dies, and 369 is so confident to step forward and create the necessary space for top esports to get everything they want. This is much
this seems weird to me that RNG was still willing to take the fight at this point.
I think it's a mistake here from Xiaohu to actually go over the other side and to split the team fight. I understand he feels confident with the culling, but you know, you are playing with space pretty carefully here. Okay, let's see what happens with Gala. Does he reposition with his ult? No, he uses his ult right there. He does get saved by Jackie Love. Oh no!
Oh,
yeah, the Buster shot, he needed one more auto and Buster shot. I think Jackie Love got pretty unlucky with crits there. Watching it, I feel like he should have exploded Gala.
Before the auto comes out. So that was like a literal game of millimeters on that one. But I just want to point out, this is one of the big problems with Nautilus, right? If you don't get after.
Dude, look at the difference of 80 carry items right now. Look at Gala's items, compare that to Jackie Love's items. Gala is fucking huge this game.
Baron is the name of the game right now, though, Frost. With 30 minutes into this one, top esports have 3 Drakes, and you can see everyone climbs up towards the top side of the map.
Okay, I just have a feeling we're just gonna be bash bros.
And Hecarim didn't really get caught. He got flash stunned by Leona, and he didn't have his ult. So, like, him getting flash stunned and dying for it is probably worth it for the fight. If he's walking up, that's a worth trade.
Whereas Gala has everything. Cleanse, the flash, his ultimate. So, who is going to be the difference maker?
Yeah, Gala is just fucking freakishly strong. Is Gala the best AD carry in LPL? No, probably Viper is.
Top diff. 369 can team fight very effectively. Look at his items. He is a big, beefy boy. Look at his level. He should feel confident to look for the team fight now.
Round is just going to go down, but Casa gets in. It was 60 HP. Casa can't get the smite. And
not a good ulti from Wei. But Jackie Love had to jump out. If Jackie Love has to jump out of fights, it's really good for RNG. Because like we've said a bunch of times, there's oh my god, Gala actually, instead of killing off Knight there, he went for Jackie Love. But yeah, I mean, it was a decent Baron. Wasn't a bad Baron.
Looking for a little bit more killer instincts on cooldown though, so they just have to settle for the 2.
Just playing on a knife's edge though. RNG was so much fun to watch on this composition as they're like, should we engage? Should we just let it go? And just playing with space perfectly against so many melee engagers. You know, Leona, Renekton, Scion. If Xiaohu misplays that space, he's screwed. He's absolutely destroyed. But the confidence on this guy, the balls on this guy to play as upfront as he has been.
I mean, honestly, that's one of the things about the players in this lobby is they're all very.
Oh my god.
Who dashes in a straight line? Oh, that was.
Xiaohu griefed that pretty hard.
Costs him his flash.
I mean, the thing is,
just dodge that one. He could have
if he dodges, like the problem there that's like kind of not really talked about is if he dodges up, then Sion can continue drifting through the lane, and if Sion gets behind him, he probably dies. So he wants to like try to get Sion to hit the wall. That's why he goes down.
I gotta get out of here.
Everyone is very afraid of this alligator.
30 minutes, 300 and 600 gold lead. Yep.
Ryan can tell you that Knight is an absolute terror in this one when it comes to getting on that backline and one-shotting squishies.
I will give credit to Cryan. Like,
Surprisingly, Knight went with Deadman second on the Renekton mid.
But the amount of impact that he's made in fights, with just Gravity Field and Chaos Storm, has actually been pretty significant because this comp is still relatively fragile.
All right, so this would be sold for TES in 40 seconds. So you definitely need to like not give this over no matter what happens for RNG. I mean, they should probably like after this mid wave, they could poke on this mid wave, but they should probably walk back over to Drake and just take it. You can't risk like losing a fight and then giving soul here.
The difference is much more about where the gold is stacked on each team, right? And when we talk about the AD carry difference, Gala is nearly maxed out with 33 minutes into the game, and he's just half an item away from 6 at this point.
That just sounds like the worst like Mexican food you could ever want to. It's mild. It's mildly ahead. You know, you want like spicy. You want some heat with that dish. But that's what this game has really been. It's been some mildly ahead team fights as the soul from Mountain is denied. Top Esports, of course, know that if they took that fight and it was bad with Baron, it would surely mean at least one of their inhibitors, probably the game, so they waved the white flag on that one. And they're just trying to collect waves and wait for this Baron to
Random's Renekton would be pretty good because of 2 crit. Yeah, I mean, he goes the Deadman's because he wants like help being able to close. But I mean, I think that at this point, RNG should just auto-win. Like, they really should just win based off team comp.
If he wanted to.
Baron is gone, so you're not going to see them continue sieging here. So, like, they decided to give up mid inhibitor. Sion's pushing top. He doesn't actually care about this. Sion does have TP and exhaust for the fight. So he's going to look to TP probably behind. There's a ward right behind them. He's probably going to TP on that one, I would assume, if they do decide to fight.
Pull the trigger just yet, perhaps waiting to use that home guard. Maybe just the threat of the recall enough to force RNG away here.
Yeah, and also RNG getting what they want is.
Oh wow, they get onto Karsa. Wow.
You may be four-legged, but so is Wei.
Damn, they found that pick. Like they committed on it so quickly.
7 on the board for Gala at this point.
Chem Tank champions, really good. What game and playoffs is this? This is the loser bracket semifinal.
Respecting that there was going to be flanking vision or flanking wards from RNG that he would be spotted on moving into that and immediately punished for that. And suddenly RNG are back on the offensive, pushing on these Nexus towers.
Oh my god, look at the damage from Gala. I mean, yeah, Gala and Jahu are just too big. And Victor is starting to do pretty good damage here as well. Dude, they literally just tried to siege Nexus turrets off that Karsa pick. That's pretty respectable, honestly.
RNG unable to break the Nexus. They should return to Top Esports' jungle, eat all of the camps. Guys, in your solo queue games, if you can't push anything else, just make sure as you're walking back to your base that you're cleaning out the jungle, denying as much gold as possible from your opponent as Knight. Just sadly looking for someone on a bad back. Checking to see if someone's backing in that red bush. But,
Who have I got my money on to win LPL finals? Winning LPL finals would be FPX like huge favorite.
I think Carson knew as soon as he walked over that control ward. He's like, oh no, this is it, isn't it?
Yeah, he knows he's made a terrible, terrible mistake, which is unfortunate for Carson because he's had such a good game as well. Up until that point, he'd had such a great game for himself, but yeah, you know,
which non-Chem Tank jungle picks do you think have a chance of becoming meta for MSI? Nocturne for sure.
Jungle CS numbers really being a driving factor in the game.
Zin.
The nice thing though is that Jaculov has actually reached the
has a chance
that he needs to, as 369's just trying to get out of that. Wasn't sure really who was going to come through on the TP.
I mean, Italy, obviously.
Back to Jaculov's.
Graves potentially.
Down a Dominix from Gala. But he doesn't.
I'm not sure, dude. Maybe Morgana jungle, I think, could end up making an appearance at MSI.
Fight front to back really successfully, having both the Phantom Dancer,
Lilia,
and the Kraken, and now also has the GA on top of it. So I actually really like the position Tristana is in, despite the fact that she's an item down.
Don't think Eve will be meta now. I think Eve is really bad.
Yeah, one of the nice things about Tristana as well is you can stack that bomb on the Hecarim, and Wei will spread that damage to the entire team. That is a huge amount of...
RNG, just start the Baron again.
RNG, speaking of burst damage, I'm just gonna
look at how fast they
one-shot
do
the
it.
Baron. Goes
They
down
know
to
how
the
fast they
middle
do it and
and
when the
now
enemy
team
can't
fight.
contest.
369 goes
Jackie Love
into
getting
mid-lane,
ulted on.
survives
Will
the
Gala
attack,
go for
and
Jackie Love here is the
Love
question.
follow up here.
Looks like they're just still hitting front to back.
It's looking good, but now
Gala's
RNG
looking for the
goes back
opportunity
on
to
its
ult
head
in.
onto
He's gonna ult in.
Solo.
The next
Wait,
CC that's
the front
landed.
line.
Okay.
Solo goes in to try and buy space for the
It's really
team.
big. It's really
Jackie Love
big.
is solo.
It's free
The
win.
top
It's free win.
esports are
Jackie Love's
dropping
dead.
like flies. 369 ain't tanky enough. Castle on the
Oh,
back line.
wait.
Gala's still surviving, but Castle goes
He is
in.
GA.
Turns it on
GG.
its head.
They can end mid.
369 is dead, but it doesn't matter. Crying survives. Gala with the GA and a quadra.
I feel like this was just team comp diff,
11,
honestly.
1 and 4 on this Kai'Sa. Gala has just had a free time hitting whoever he wants. At the end of the day, it was RNG that had better control over space. You know, say whatever you want about Cryan's scoreline. Those Chaos Storms, those gravitational fields, they came in clutch to give Xiaohu and Gala the space to get onto that front line. Jackie Love never got to hit his opponent.
The rumors on the front page of
Game 1
the Reddit. I don't even know who this rumor is though.
37
Like, who's the one that's making this rumor?
RNG take the first game in this series. We're into the lower bracket, and it feels like they've buckled their ideas up. They've figured out what they needed to do.
Esporin?
Firing on all cylinders into this elimination match, and it has to be.
I don't even know who
I mean,
Esporin
you're
is.
absolutely right, that Cryan managing to have a
Literally zero idea. Never heard of them.
perhaps
So I'm not sure how reputable they are.
that early laning phase, 'cause he got bullied.
Esporn.com. Yeah, I have no clue who that is.
Duo roaming up. We saw lots of gangs from Castle onto the mid lane. But
All right.
the thing about this Victor is, so long as you've dropped your stun and you've dropped your Chaos Storm, that stuff still goes on, even if you die right at the start of the fight.
Okay. Game 2.
But I would anticipate with this team, with RNG...
Damn, the Tom Kench first pick of the overall draft. Now, this is interesting because people play Varus and Senna with Tom Kench. The idea here is you pick Tom Kench first for TES, and then you get either Senna or Varus guaranteed, and you have a strong bot lane. I don't think that it's like uncounterable though. I would love to see a team play like a Lulu lane into it, or a Seraphine lane into the Tom Kench or whatever.
Where these picks are gonna go.
flex on
Nocturne
flex.
and Renekton, both flexes.
Lilia is available right now. Wait, maybe the best Lilia in the league. Definitely is most played across the split. Incredible Lilia player. So I would like to see the Nocturne in the mid lane and Lilia come through for Wei.
And Lilia makes perfect sense here because she's an AP jungler now smack dab in between two AD laners in Nocturne and Renekton. So I'm with you. I think the Lilia is incoming. That does mean that bot lane will get pinched. Oh, this is the white flag being raised. Jackie Love and Tro are like, give me Tom Kench, Senna. I'm out. Like, I don't
want to toot my own horn too much, but I
Okay,
didn't
Tom Kench,
exactly
Senna.
call that this was the draft
Definitely think
top
this is
esports would
counterable,
go
though.
to. I think I've watched too much of this team. I've drunk too much of the Kool-Aid. They just surrender the bot side.
Kai'Sa's
play
pretty
the
good
bot
into
side. This is
Tom Kench. So there's a bunch of different lanes you could run with
Okay, so
Kai'Sa.
this
You could
is
go
interesting
Kai'Sa
now.
Lulu
So in
here.
response,
You can
Gala
go
is like,
Kai'Sa
"Cannot get my
Rakan.
now,"
You can
otherwise
go
that does mean that the
Kai'Sa
Lilia is
Seraphine.
taken
All
away.
these lanes
It's not that
should
you have
work
Kar'Sa
into
on
Tom
Olaf,
Kench
so I
Senna.
expect that top esports are going to start pinching the jungle pool right now, as well as potentially taking things away like that Nautilus, like that Rel, or different support champions that give Gala and Ming a strong setup lane.
It's kind of interesting. It feels like
So let's see what TS bans. I assume they're going to ban supports here.
They need to ban. I love the Quinn ban.
Knowing
There's a lot of respect
LPL, I would
for
expect it to be a
direct
Rakan
It
ban.
also says, yes, definitely we're taking this Renekton towards
Rel, okay, that's interesting because Rel is not even good into Senna Tom Kench. I don't think that's that great of a ban.
Taken away by top.
I wonder if they'll also ban the Jax then, and just try to deny any sort of hyperscaling that 369 would have on a side lane. You still have things like the Jace, the Camille, and the Jax that he can go for, as well as if he wants to play weak side, Scion. But with Senna Kench, you would imagine that he'd be playing more of kind of a hard carry champion.
Yeah, I will say with the Camille, I don't know whether
Gangplank,
he'll
okay.
play that. Nuguri drew a very famous picture of a 0-3 Camille getting whacked against a Renekton. So
Did you ever do on-stage segments if Riot offered me? I did like 2. I did 2 this split for Riot in LCS. I did like a prediction video. I mean, obviously it can't be on stage because Corona and stuff, but I did a prediction video and then I did another like analyst desk segment where like if I was in LA, they would have like, yeah, it obviously would have just been in person.
Was just about to talk about the Leona. The Leona is actually really necessary.
I don't like the Leona here. I feel like RNG countered themselves bot lane.
locked in here, and we'll see what Top Esports answer with.
I feel like there's a lot of picks that they should have picked. They did end up banning the Recon, but I feel like they should have just ended up going with a range support here into the Senna Tom Kench. It's really hard for Tom Kench Senna to play into that. Even like Nami is fine. Like all the enchanters are good here.
I'm excited, Frost. Let's go.
Probably say Lulu would be the best here. Lulu's also pretty good with Renekton and Nocturne, so I feel like Lulu would have been a OP pick here.
Insta-lock that Akali. You have a range matchup now into Renekton Nara. I think we've all seen this one a million times, but my eyes are obviously going to be on this Akali and what Knight is going to be able to get done.
Okay. Decent value Sylas game. So normally you want like really good ults for Sylas, and then you also want a decent lane. But you can normally trade like Sylas having a bad lane for having good ults. Here, Sylas has decent lane versus Gnar and Akali. Like it actually works versus both. And then it has good ult versus Gnar. So interesting top lane Sylas pick. I like it.
Side lane. Some soft, smooth jazz.
Xiaohu on his champions again. I want to see Xiaohu play more of the style that we've seen so far these two games when they play against FPX instead of just Xiaohu playing his more reserved style of just picking Gnar all the time for Snuggery. I want to see him actually play the shit that he's really good at. I want it to be a mechanic battle top.
But the presence of mind changes were kind of like the big thing that swung Akali, at least in the LEC Pro's mind, from unplayable to back into OP range. But the the old cloth 4-pot start, I haven't seen that in a long time.
There was a website long ago called Cloth 5, which was like the
Graves ADC
top
start.
Laners. Yeah. And you could go into Wriggle's Lantern off the back of a Cloth 5 start. Cloth 4, not quite the same, but you know, it's kind of a nice reference to the olden days of Cloth 5 as a start.
Yeah, and actually giving a lot of respect. I know, right? Everyone else in the league's like, no, we don't like that. Giving a lot of respect to this Renekton matchup, as Cryan has apparently just had enough of it. So,
decent trading in lane. I mean, this is the problem with the Kai'Sa Leona lane. I feel like they just lose it. They get out-sustained by the Senna-Tom Kench here.
Which is really helpful for Olaf to keep his mana topped up. It makes him a much faster jungler, and obviously if he's lower health, it means he moves that much faster through the jungle just because of how Olaf's kit works. Whereas Wei, starting on bot side, pathing top.
Thoughts on Frost as a caster? I don't think she's bad. I think she's okay.
Doesn't get any other experience from things like kills or wards or
the caster I've actually been enjoying listening to the most this split has actually been Azale. Where I felt like last year I didn't like him that much, but I feel like he's gotten a lot better this year, specifically. I think he's kind of smurfing it.
That would be the question.
So Renekton mid versus Knights Akali. This is like, yeah. I mean, we've seen Renekton mid both games so far. It's considered really OP.
Definitely doesn't need to wait until level 6 to start making things happen. But also, right now, in the bottom lane, massive priority in favor of Jackie and Dro. Do you expect that to continue? Like, can Kai'Sa just play through that bottom side and start to stack dragons?
I mean, yeah, as Olaf, you can definitely start clearing dragons at level 4, and it's kind of like full clear Olaf, walk to bot side, and then you can use Blast Cone over the wall as long as you have a control ward and take that one pretty safely. Now, the thing about Nocturne is that while we do talk about him as a jungler that likes to get to the level 6 and open up that ultimate, if he finds you and he's able to connect A, the Q, and then B, the fear, Nocturne...
I haven't listened to Cagel's casting. I can't listen to it because I'm on stream and normally I have guests and stuff, so if I listen to it, I can't hear the guests.
369.
It's actually pretty good. Oh, wait. He had E up. Okay, that was a bad flash then from Wei. They already got his flash. They assumed he had no E because he flashed the Q, so... I don't even know if he gets that fear if they kill him, though. Honestly. Because he didn't have his Q, and Nocturne is pretty shit at ganking early.
Mirrored, so you can look at your own minion wave if you're ever confused where the enemy's minion wave is going to be. And that gives so much information for Kai'Sa to come in and, again, disrupt this Nocturne's pathing. So we need to keep our eyes on Wei to make sure that he makes the right decision, and he is. Taking both Crab. Oh, no, he's resetting. He's just going to get denied his jungle and denied his 6 clear.
He's only going to be on 1.5 clears, because guess what? Kai'Sa is going to take the Grump away. I thought he was going to move to the Wolves as well, but it looks like he's just going to recall on this one and go back to clearing himself. He can move back up to the top side where the Grump has already respawned and path down towards that Drake that we were talking about before as well. So now let's
Or any more diverse picks at NA Finals. They're on a different patch, so
they're the ones.
yeah, I think that's partly what it is.
On this series, you've got the Nocturne that once we hit level 6, it's going to work. But with the Silas and the Renekton and the solo lanes,
Honestly, I'm surprised we haven't been seeing more Chem Tank on Olaf. Like, this is actually not a bad
hold that thought actually.
thing to go for.
Chase down here, Waze here, but has no flash. Remember, they have no real way.
They can flash on Jackie here, can't they? Yeah, they can flash on Jackie. Jackie just, I mean, he walked way too far forward. Jackie really griefed that for no reason.
RNG take an easy fight. Jackie, what are you doing, mate?
Yeah, Jackie griefed this super hard. He also had flash. I don't know. This was really, really bad.
I'm very salty. What in the world? How does that happen? You're Sinna Tom Kinch, and you lose to a level 4 Nocturne?
That has no flash. That has no flash.
Hey, this is completely fine, right? Like,
comes out early. Ming does a
Jackie
really
is
good
completely
job
fine
holding
here.
The queue to hit Jackie
you just
when
walk.
he's
Just leave.
immediately ejected.
wait,
from
where
the
did the
other
Nar
side,
TP?
And then they double down.
Wait,
on
Nar
the
TP'd
TPs,
here.
not keeping track of
Wait,
his
where did
TP
the...
early
Oh,
on.
they have no
It's only
TP
like
mid.
9
Okay.
seconds. It's really
No, I
slow.
understand what happened here. So I understand what happened, even though it's kind of
Nocturne
like
has a
cringe that this happened. So I assume what they were calling here was that Silas had a wave under his turret and couldn't TP, and the Nar could TP. So that's why they turned around and fought, because they thought that they were going to be able to have like TP advantage. But then RNG matched the top lane TP with the mid lane TP. Yeah, Carson just shits on him.
He's like, you know what? If Jackie's
So,
gonna run it, then
yeah,
I'm
that's
gonna run it
interesting.
in 2 ways.
They thought that the reason they turned like that is because they thought they had TP advantage, which they did have TP advantage top, but Knight has Ignite, so there's no TP mid.
And this man's
Sucks.
whole jungle path in. Casa just annihilates way. And you know what? We've got a bit of a jungle dip here, bit of a forest gap, bit of a woodland gulf, if you will, vegetation disparity, bit of a foliage dissonance. Bit of
Listen,
floral
it's 54
contrast.
to 33.
It's yeah, bit of a diffy in the jiffy, I think.
Karsa's doing his best, but his bot lane's leaving me scratching my head a little bit. That said, it's only been one. Jackie Love and Joe have time to clean it up, to get it back on
I think
track.
Zillion would be good here instead of
this
Leona. I
Nocturne
think
will
that
be
any of the
level
supports
6
that have Sustain would have been
relatively
better than
soon,
Leona
and
here.
Here we go, round
Good
4.
flash from Ming. Jackie Love is just dead. I mean, he has flash, but I'm pretty sure he's just dead to the next E from Ming. Ming is going to look for E onto Jackie Love, I think. Oh, never mind. Oh, wow. Knight's going to clean up everyone here. No flash on Gala.
To be the carry for top esports. This is a perfect opportunity for him to get kills, but with the TP coming in, maybe this all goes wrong. Ming has gone a little bit deep on this one as Knight.
Oh, good spell shield from Way there.
And he can look for Ming as well. Knight with the
He's
double,
dead, though.
But it's Xiaohu who also has the perfect execution.
So now Xiaohu uses his TP to carry to counter the bot lane roam. I actually really like this, even though that there's been mistakes around it. One of the things you can see here is how the whole team uses their resources together, right? So top lane TPs down to the bot fight, and mid lane matches that TP because they're all communicating about like what needs to happen. And then this time mid lane roams when Cryan can't roam, and then top lane TPs to match the Knight roam. So like they use other people's abilities. They don't just use like top lane TP to counter the enemy top lane TP. They use the mid lane TP to counter the top lane TP. They use the top lane TP to counter the mid lane roam. Like they're using their resources as a team together, where I feel like a lot of like teams get sucked into the idea of like people are just supposed to match their lane instead of using their resources like as a team resource.
Gold is going to feel a lot better, but you know, if this went wrong, I was ready to just throw in the towel. I was like, it's a disaster. It is clearly a trap. Do not go bot lane. But the triple down here as Knight also shows up. The TP comes in. Really good use of the.
It's a really good R2 from Way here. Or sorry, W on the R2 from Way. Should have said.
Uses the flash and finds Ming in a little concave. I don't know.
I think concave is the right one on that one.
Concave.
Wait, 369 and he's holding up a die with a 3, a 6, and a 9 on it. That's actually pretty. I like that. I think that's a really good like player like meme pose and stuff. I think it's funny. It's like him embracing the meme.
Xiaohu stealing that perfect execution to get the kill on Jackie Love at the end of the fray. So, all things considered, RNG up in kills right now, but top esports ahead in gold. This is what we always talk about with top esports. When it comes to the laning phase, they are the team that gets ahead every single time.
but what does it amount to? So, Karsa, you
Rift
see
Herald
it.
is the answer.
Don't do it. He's gonna do it anyway. He's assuming, so Karsa's making an educated guess that because the enemy blue buff is up, that Wei is already pathing.
I mean, it
bot
doesn't
side.
matter. I think
And so
here it's a good
now
Rift
he
Herald
needs to
start
move
because
up
you
to
literally
Rivera.
are just
No,
stronger
Karsa,
here, and your
don't
bot lane
do
has
this,
first
Disney.
move.
Walk away from it.
He's
So this is a
committing.
situation where I think that
Oh.
RNG actually messed up. They did the NA Herald where they're pulling the AD carry
Can he get the
where they don't
spike
need to.
down? I'm not even sure who got it. I think it was Karsa who's finally died. Wei might answer though. 369 looking to answer that kill.
Jaculov wasn't able to ulti here for his team.
Towards the rest of his
It's an
team.
issue.
He's out with his life, but Gala dives into the backline. Dawning Shadow is there. Ming is low. Jaculov chased down here. Top esports still 3 strong. Perfect execution into the fray.
Well played by Knight there.
Crying
Knight smurfing this fight.
This one around. Nod into the wall and taken down by the ninja.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like RNG contesting this. I think RNG should keep their AD carry bot here. This is a good advantage. This is a good time for Kaisa to be able to get ahead of the Senna. Also, like, I think Senna needs to ulti earlier there for the team.
Oh boy. Okay.
Can't see, so they have to call it. But I think that in general, like, starting the Herald's good as long as TES either has a number advantage or they have both AD carries bot, because Senna can contribute to the fight cross map with ulti, and Kaisa can't.
Like, imagine if I had picked up that quadra kill.
I think Karsa actually got the Herald.
So like this would have been a nice Senna ulti here.
At what cost? Like, this is a point where top esports like, yeah, it's fine. We won the skirmish. But like,
Stays in the belly for a good amount of time, gets the ult off even though he knows he's gonna die. Gala kind of walked into it there, but it didn't matter.
Into the Senna ultimate, even though he could have stood to the side and not.
Yeah, he could have stood to the side here and not taking the damage from him. He was dead either way though. There's no chance he lives. Now he just ganked Gala because he has no ult, no flash.
Karsa just runs it, but gets a nice easy kill on that one. Jaculov can now just run at the tower, and guess what? They got the Herald. It all worked out for top esports, so they're going to snowball this lead in the bottom side. But in fact, Karsa, I think, just moves over to the Drake instead.
Yeah, it's probably going to be a.
Do you see the 100 Thieves Niski
I would
rumor?
imagine, because that
For the
goal
last time,
is
yes,
worth
I've
a
seen the
lot more
rumor.
for Akali. That said, the mid
But I have
lane
no
is,
clue who the
in
fuck
my
the
opinion,
rumor is
worth
by.
A lot less than it used to be in terms of.
I literally have never heard of this site in my
Not so much
life.
in this game because it's Akali
esporin.com. I mean,
versus
clearly they're
Rivera.
not that popular. They only have
It's
60.
oftentimes
They have under
better to
60,000
take the Herald out
followers.
to the side lane, which is what it looks like Karsa's actually going to do, because it makes it that much easier.
So
to
I'm not sure how they would have
into
this
the
information.
jungle and then use
It's kind
the
of
pressure
interesting.
a potential dive on those champions to get them to back up from the mid lane. Whereas it used to be that everyone and their mother would just drop Herald into mid lane because taking mid tower meant so much more for control over into entrances of River.
Taking mid turret doesn't matter as much when there's not that much wave clear mid.
Especially with the fact that
There's not
Karsa
much wave clear on these teams
reinforced
anyway.
Drake as well. You just got Jaculov so much time to just hit this tower, so they could take away all of the easy plays, and then Karsa just.
Isn't it weird how LPL prioritizes Herald over First Dragon, but they don't. Like they do it based on comp, which is I think the best way to do it.
Rejection right there. Already finished the Kraken Slayer. Jaculov is massive 12 minutes into this game.
Now, one of the things with this composition is because they're not running like a traditional attack speed ADC, not that Senna can't move very quickly, but she doesn't have the same traditional wave clear as something like a Jinx, a Kaisa, a Tristana, is how they're going to compete for the mid-wave prio when we do eventually drop those towers. And this is the other thing that I like. If Senna and Tom Kench are going to play vacuum duty or Hoover duty in the mid lane, and now you're on an extended lane, as long as Knight controls this minion wave, he can deny a lot of gold or set up a lot of kill pressure for himself on whoever from RNG wants to come try to deal with this Akali on a side lane.
Yeah,
Kraken Slayer, Senna taking the mid turret.
As you mentioned before,
Joe waiting behind him.
can do well.
Got 2 plates here. Jaculov is huge. I mean, I think that RNG are pretty fucked this game. I mean, they're down, what, almost 4K?
This is Knight's Akali. Knight is a mechanical genius. I'm really excited to see what he can do in those kind of situations, because I feel like Akali is the pick that if you're in the kind of 1v2s, 1v3s, it's one of those picks that you really, really can.
Gore Drinker on Olaf this game because he's playing against 4 melees. I think it makes sense to go Gore Drinker instead of Stride when you're into this many melees.
Seen it, so you're actually
369 is huge this game, though.
Top esports running face first into skirmishes and just pressing their buttons better.
Solid. Got the demolish proc.
Ults
Ults because he's going to go into mini anyway.
Mid lane either through this Leona or through the Paranoia. You can see Wei
Damn.
That's cute. You can see
Jesus.
Wei is kind of pathing in between his top and his mid lane as Ming's like, I got
They fucked that guy up over the wall. All right, JackeyLove is huge here.
Okay, here we go.
Ming all in.
Oh, wait, that was actually really 5-head if you saw what RNG did. So there, the Nocturne wanted to ulti and one-shot the Senna. So instead of the Leona going on the Senna, the Leona went on the Tom Kench and CC'd the Tom Kench so that the Senna would end up getting one-shot by the support or by the mid and jungle.
Everything that 369 got here while retaining his
I respect
teleport.
it.
But the fact is that RNG's composition is super dependent on these big cooldowns, using things like the paranoia, the fact that Xiaohu just used his teleport, that all they really got was the kill on JackeyLove and the flash from Karsa. It's not like they were able to turn that around into a dragon or a tower or any pressure. So across map, they actually lost more there. And JackeyLove is on a low econ champion like Senna. Senna doesn't need a ton of gold to be able to do her job like a Tristana does. So I think this is actually a really good position for top esports, going to 130 for this dragon. Like 369 just needs
Joe
to
has
top
the
lane like an absolute banana,
Gnar
and
ult,
start
but Gnar actually
killing
misses
Xiaohu
Boomerang
while
here.
rotating.
So this might not be a kill. Oh, actually, never mind. He just kills him. Damn, he just chases him down like an animal. Okay, the flash ulti. I like it from 369. He's got Knight here. They can go on to Cryan. Cryan's looking for somebody to E through. Okay, he gets the E through the Akali, so he ends up living. If he didn't get the E through the Akali, he would have had to burn flash here.
What did you say about my brother? It's basically like, it's a bar fight. What did you say about my friend? And then suddenly they all roll out of the woodwork. You're like, guys, come
Thanks
on.
for explaining.
I
thought Joe couldn't see. Or he's bad. Hey, that's the whole point of this, bro. I watch League for a living, so hopefully I can see stuff that some people can't see. If not, it'd be pretty fucking sad, wouldn't it?
Just Regina George.
Wasn't a low gold kill on JackeyLove because he had no shutdown? It doesn't really matter. I mean, it's still really big. You also, like, negate the pressure. Wei was thinking about flashing it, but they didn't have damage follow-up, so they decided not to. I'm pretty sure it's just a win for TES. They're so far ahead.
They're going to get the Herald. They can drop that mid lane.
The Gnar in the side lane is huge.
Top esports looking fantastic in this lane phase into early mid game. And is this enough, Munch? Is this gold lead enough of the skirmishes that when it comes to using their 5-man brain power that they can get over and actually close out this game?
See,
that's a kill again. That's literally another kill.
Say yes, it's 369 and Xiaohu just dueling again.
Ooh, Knight, okay.
Obliterated. Knight.
I like the angle that he chose in the R2, like going slightly to the side where he still connects with the damage so that he's not completely in range of the Renekton.
The 1-3-1 nature of their composition.
So Renekton can't stun him.
And using the Senna ultimate to quickly swing out into the side.
Wasn't bad.
Basically just mean like
Knight's Akali's pretty fucking gross though. He's a good fucking Akali for sure.
Then I also have an Abyssal Voyage and I also have a Senna ultimate to turn the tides. And then you just have Karsa basically as a swing in between one of his solo laners and his
thoughts on other regions playing Renekton mid? Renekton mid's good. I mean, yeah, other regions are playing it. Renekton mid is still played by like Korea, for example.
It's true. It's ingenious. We can take another look at this. It's just. I mean, there's a pretty.
Damn, that R2 actually landed. That's the crazy thing. It looked to me like it wasn't gonna land, but it actually connected. That was the damage.
Getting chased down. Did get the Drake for himself. I think he will answer his own life.
Wei actually fucked him up there.
Got the Drake.
What is Wei on? He's just on Stridebreaker, I assume.
That was the desperation ultimate. It was like a not today.
Yeah, it's a little unlucky. At least Wei gets the answer for himself. And now 369 is
Goodbye,
like,
Gala.
we're a man down. Time to force a fight.
Gala's dead.
Going in onto Gala, who is just obliterated. JackeyLove getting that kill.
Why is Renekton mid good? Essentially because like all the mages that are played, like so here it was flex. It was Renekton picked, and they could have went Renekton top, or they could have went Renekton mid. So they picked Renekton early. Gnar went to counter the Renekton, and then they flex Renekton mid because essentially Renekton mid, if you take like you take second wind, you take door and shield, you end up just being able to out sustain like all the mages pretty much, and you have really good gank setup.
They have really big windows before they can get ready.
So here Renekton just has a straight up good matchup into Akali. Like Akali just struggles with bruisers. Akali's better versus like champions that she can poke down, but against champions like tanks or bruisers with a lot of sustain, Akali's generally not that good because the damage that she does, like the trading patterns, don't stick as well. So
forcing RNG to make
yeah,
very
that's why they
static
flex the mid. And then
decisions.
also
RNG
like because
making the wrong
Renekton is bad
decision
into Gnar, they can
someone
get
else
a counter pick
exposed,
to the
and one
Gnar.
kill turns into
Top.
2 kills, turns into 3 kills, turns into 13 to 8, and a pretty massive gold lead, closing in on 10K at this point. For top esports, this is like one team fight away.
Oh,
Okay.
Hang on, 369 is just getting dived because he's basically under the enemy.
Damn, that's 1,000 gold
CS
to the
with
Silas.
this
It's really good for Silas. I mean, Silas is super out of the game though. He's down 50 CS.
It's a good pickup for RNG. Top esports don't have an answer either. They'll just grab a Gromp and have to move away from this one.
Guys, what are you doing? I just complimented you. And you're on wolf camp when you give away 1,000 gold to a Silas. He's now got the OP item. Oh no, they're gonna double down.
Okay, Silas TVing behind. This is like pretty risky for TS. TS clearly just think that they're stronger though. No Nocturne ulti, no Silas ulti. I think that they can still win. I think this is fine for TS, honestly.
Shahu's on the flank, but you can't.
Yeah, I mean, it's good confidence. It's honestly good. I like seeing this from teams.
They just call the bluff. They're like, you know what? We're stronger than you. Bring it on.
Was it calling the bluff or was it massive mechanical mistakes? I think it was like a kind of a mixture of both, you know, missing.
I don't think it was massive mechanical mistakes. I think TS actually just win it. I think TS was just stronger than them at that point, 4v5. 4v5 with Silas not having ult. Silas doesn't have ult, Nocturne doesn't have ult. That's two champions that are like very, very weak. And then outside of it, like the Senna is super, super strong at this point. And the Kali is really strong as well. I think it's completely fine to do this.
These types of compositions.
Yeah, it does. I mean, look, here's the thing with that play. That is 101.
Leo's E-Flash missed, but yeah, but even if his E-Flash lands, there's a Tahm Kench right there, and the Akali still had ult and didn't even use it. That's a really hard fight to take. Like, you're down a lot of gold here.
Sure, they get away with it this time, but that was still a massive overextension from 369. And you can see,
well played by 369 here. He's actually kiting it perfectly.
To get the kill onto Cryan. 369 does not care about the rules of League of Legends. He plays how he wants to play.
It is a live fast, die young style of team, but just flexing on RNG right now. This this Nocturne 4-3-4 has not had the impact that they wanted to, and it's simply because RNG's.
I mean, even if Leona hits her stuff, there the Tahm Kench is just gonna eat the target as long as she doesn't get the Tahm Kench plus somebody in the ult.
Got massive. That quadra kill has.
But I mean, if they start committing deeper, and because Akali's not gonna be able to dive the turret that easily with her ulti, like unless somebody's taking it for them. So if they start diving deeper into the lane, the Akali's gonna be huge there. And the Renekton is pretty out of the game at this point. Essentially, like RNG, pretty much get outscaled. Yeah, I mean they effectively this game get outscaled and they're behind, so it's pretty impossible to play. This is 4v5 again. But this is like look at the Akali here. The Akali's literally like he's essentially 1v3 in the backline. Like the Olaf is there too, but the Akali and Shroud is not dying no matter what. That's Baron. Just go Baron. They don't have like great Baron damage, but they should still do it.
Brutal fight. Top esports just smack RNG.
And it's like you said, you know, there's nothing that Gala can do to stop a Ragnarok Olaf and an Akali from just assassinating him in the backline. You put that on top of.
Why is it always Tom Senna, not Senna in any tank top bot lane? Well, essentially the Tahm Kench can save the Senna, and Senna is obviously vulnerable to being jumped on. So if you go something like,
it's nice to see Jackie
you know,
Love. I know he's
Senna Nautilus. The people can ignore the Nautilus and just flash on the Senna, and Senna just dies.
Players in the world, watching him play Senna at Worlds was just beautiful. It was like a masterclass, and he looks much more comfortable on this champion and how.
I mean, Akali is essentially 1v3 in the backline here. Look at this. R1 onto Gala. Q auto R2. I mean, yeah, just well played. Like, feels really fair. Gala could have played a lot better there. Kappa.
I mean, it was like the difference of they're trying to assassinate Jackie Love and Joe just eats him.
Senaheimer and LCK. I mean, Senaheimer is viable if the enemy team doesn't have a lot of engage.
Diving under car.
And it's not as bad because at least the Senna prevents, or the Heimer prevents the Senna from getting jumped on, because if you fight into Heimer turrets, you just lose. So it's a way to kind of protect the Senna.
That's not doing anything.
Other tank tops like Senna Cho, like the Senna is nowhere close to as protected here.
Because it's often we don't have time for a second. Knight's in trouble here. Flashed on, but
wow, his R2 came up way quicker than I thought it would.
Chase this kill. He's gonna tank the tower. Dawning Shadow comes out for the shield though. Way's in trouble, but the 5-point strike misses on that one. Zhonya's has come through.
Okay, Tom. Oh, Karst is just 1v3 here. He's just chilling.
What is Olaf right right now. That is disgusting. And now onto Ming as well.
Oh, he autoed the
Ming
fucking
will
ward.
surely
Jackie
go
autoed the
for
ward by
triple
accident. Oh
axis for the
no,
kill,
that's grief.
But the supports will combat somehow. Top esports come out on top. 3-0, 13 for Dwarf.
Why not Senna
He's
Thresh?
looking
Well,
for a
Thresh is
Tom
pretty
Kench
hard to farm
MVP.
with
Has
in
that
general.
sentence ever been
Like
set?
Senna Thresh is like
He's
kind of
looking
weird
for a Tom
because
Kench ban right now.
Thresh
while
kind of
all
sucks
this
at
was
farming, and
happening,
then like
Knight was
having
also
an
able to pick up a kill on
extremely
Cryan
fed
before
Thresh
Cryan
doesn't
falls
really
down.
change
And
much in the
speaking of
game.
Cryan,
Whereas like
remember
Tom Kench, for example, has like
RNG
percentage damage
gonna
on
be
his
crying
like Q and
after
auto
this
attacks and
one.
stuff. So
This
Senna,
is
Tom Kench essentially like
I don't
allows
even
you to
words
have
for
a
the
strong
kind of
Senna and a
combination
strong
we're
Tom
seeing.
Kench. Whereas like having a strong
More
Thresh
than a kill
actually
a
is kind of
minute
useless
on
in the
their
game
side
most
if
of the
they
time.
break down the mid lane in here.
Oh, they're trying to double up on that. Here comes Paranoia.
Yeah,
Oh, he's gonna be
once
feared when he
again
comes up.
spit him
Wow.
over the wall, so Jakilov's gonna be completely safe.
Joe
This
kept him in his
is
belly for so
3
long there and spit him over
versus
the
4,
wall.
and top esports don't give a monkeys. Cryan will fall next. 369 to get that kill as Gala is taken down. Way
Yeah,
killed
GG.
underneath this tower. There's just nothing you
Send.
can do.
Respect.
This is an FF at 12.
I like the ending here, man.
I think this was an FF
Dude, when
series
teams have a
where
lead
got
in
blocked.
LPL, they don't
So,
fuck
like,
around, bro.
pretty
Like, they don't have
dominant
these
series
games
from
where like one
RNG,
team
at
is
least in
winning
game one.
in the early
Has
game, and then they
turned
end
into
up just,
absolute
you know,
fiesta.
chilling for the
The
next
party
fucking
party
20
party,
minutes,
and it
and
is
you know, it's a
the
40-minute
top
game
esports
that
for
one team had a 5K
10-2.
gold advantage. Looking at
as soon
UC9,
as you
like
get
they
into
fucking
the end,
have the
top
advantage,
esports
and they just
will
hammer
challenge
down the other
and
team's
dance
fucking
off.
throat. They take
And they're gonna
4v5s. They
dance
like they
all
just
over
play
the
to the
field.
limits of their
Goes in
lead.
and is immediately
Also, I'm pretty
slammed
sure
into the wall.
Joe just ate a minion there.
Jackie
Not 100%
is
sure.
coming.
Oh my God, Knight with the
His
style.
teammates, but it doesn't.
Wait, that actually was sick. Did you look at what Knight did?
No, all over the fountain as well. Ming goes in and is immediately slammed against the wall.
R2, E Zanya's. He Zanya's mid E and then he travels while E'd.
Loses his KDA.
And Zanya's at the same time.
13
Okay.
to
Respect,
13 is the
respect.
final score.
I'll fuck with
As
it.
Top esports, the defending
RG versus TS game 3. Let's get into it.
And Prio, but because Nautilus, you could have banned the Jace, and that made your Gnar that much more powerful.
I actually didn't know that's how Zanya has
By
worked
RNG slipping through the base
with
phase,
Akali
now
E.
Gnar becomes that much
I didn't know
more
you could E
terrifying
while
to
you're
play.
Zanya's thing.
369 wants to
I've
have
never
another
seen that
great
done.
performance. And
I've literally played
that's
against a
Cryan.
million Akalis in
Galio
NA. I've never once seen an
completely
Akali
disrupts Akali.
E backwards
It's
while Zanya's
really
thing.
hard for
Never.
her to get anything done in the lane phase
Isn't that
because
crazy?
she's so
That that's a mechanic
obnoxious
that's in the
and so
game,
controlling
and I've
around
played
it. So
like
Cryan's
hundreds,
like,
maybe thousands of
fine,
hours
I
into
will sit
Akalis
back,
on
I
my
will
server, and I've
team
never seen them
here.
do it
They
one
have a
time.
Great delivery system with Hecarim and Galio. I love how their composition's working together, and then making sure that Xiao, who's on that power pick like that Jace. I really
Isn't this
prefer
old?
RNG
6 days
draft
old.
This time around than just the absolute car wreck that they drafted in game number 2.
Yeah, and this composition from Top Esports feels a little reminiscent from game number 1, right? Where you've got the Scion playing very much on the weak side in the top lane, where you've got Wei and Cryan, who are definitely going to move up towards that top side and try and make those dives happen. So the
All right. Okay. Oh, wait. Let's look at the draft. Let's look at the draft. So it's gonna be first pick Hecarim, Udyr taken for Karsa, and RNG goes for Zyrel into the Tristana. Okay, Zyrel is kind of interesting here. Kai'Sa's banned, so I feel like Jinx could have a lot of value, but Jinx without Thresh and Tom is not as valuable. Okay, makes sense. And then you have Gragas. So Gragas is a flex pick. It could be either top or it could be support here. But Gragas and Sorel is pretty decent for the Gragas. Okay, and then they end up going for Scion last pick. Scion last pick into the Jace. I mean, I guess there are counter picks to Jace. Like, they could have went something like a Malphite here, but I think that they just perceive Malphite as too slow and that the tanky front line would be good here. I actually really like the Galio. Galio mid into Akali. It's always been a good matchup for Galio. Essentially, Galio just gets pushed in the lane and can just kind of duel with the Akali pretty well. Can roam to sides first. So, let's see how good Knight's Akali is this game. Much harder game to play Akali in. Even though last game was actually a pretty hard Akali game as well, you know? Like, you don't go into an Akali game and be like, damn, I hope I play versus a Renekton mid. He did well.
But it's not
Everything
the
considered.
same level of hyper carry that you expect out of something like a Kai'Sa that can really massively 1v1 people in the fight. So we've got to look towards him, and with him being one of the big carries for the team.
Yeah, and it will give JackeyLove a bit more space. Now, while Xayah does have great line and through damage with her Q, you know, it's not like you have a Kai'Sa ultimate that can just 1v1 you onto the backside. That said, Gala has gotten the better of JackeyLove multiple times throughout this series in the lane phase. JackeyLove has required a lot of assistance to kind of even it out, so we'll see if it goes better for him this time around, having something like the Gragas into the Rel matchup. But already taking a look at the jungle starts, it's Karsa starting top side map, probably looking for a full clear. I would expect Red, Krugs, Raptors into bot side, and Wei to do the same thing opposite map, but that does mean that JackeyLove and Joe get first access onto the minion wave and should have the advantage going into level 2.
Yeah, and you can see just by pathing alone, what we were talking about before,
Okay.
very much a weak side for top esports. Wei will play towards that top lane. He's pathing, so he'll finish up at the top scuttle, and the opposite for Karsa.
So Cryan gets the wave push.
Gala and Ming on the bottom.
Cryan's actually been really insane for most of the season. His Renekton didn't look super good though, but he's been very good in most games I've watched.
Towards the mid game, then, how do you expect the pace of this game to go forward? Because obviously both Hecarim and Udyr are champions that are perfectly able to get early dragons and things. Top esports with the stronger bot side in quotation marks, but not a team that often plays towards dragon.
Cancels it, okay. Skill check from Ming, Wing onto Zhuo. Also, like, seeing what skill Zhuo had. I'm not sure if Zhuo had casted a body slam yet in the lane, so if he did end up, like, leveling Q or something, you force him to skill E.
Hecarim's just so strong. That said,
isn't Galio mid super in? No, I think Galio mid is fine. Especially when you have things to follow up on, right? Like, you have Rel engage, you have Hecarim engage with Galio on top, and then Galio into Akali has always been fine, so I think it's completely okay.
So it's kind of like
Jahu trolled his Q there.
The question is, it depends on who
didn't see the minion in front of him.
Reality, but if it's a big 5v5,
I want to see how well Jahu can get a lead. These are the types of lanes that Jace wins, like, a lot harder than he used to, because into tanks before, Jace would have no sustain, so eventually he would start getting, like, poked out by them, and, like, you'd have to go, like, weird builds in the past. You'd have to go, like, Blade of the Ruin King into Mana Moon to actually be able to deal with them. But now you can end up just going Mana Moon and Eclipse is just such a broken item in general on Jace because it gives you the sustain that you lacked in previous seasons. So I think that that's just the main thing here that makes Jace so OP this season compared to last is you don't have to play as perfectly on the pick as you used to, just because the items that are available to you and in general your scaling is a lot better than it used to be.
Way goes for a gank. It's a taunt on tonight. Does do a nice little jump back.
Good trade from Cryan. He's gonna try to ask his jungler for push, and then he's gonna base here.
RNG, who were the first seed coming into this playoffs, a redemption story for them, who've been struggling for the last couple of years. But Xiaohu's been there, Ming has been there this entire time. These veterans are no strangers to high-pressure situations. Top esports, very much the new kids on the block in this matchup.
Yeah, and now our eyes are really on Xiaohu, those crown jewels that you were talking about, those veterans to be the difference maker. And I really wanted to point out Xiaohu's incredible wave control here. You know, timed it perfectly when the junglers were going to be on their
yeah, it was good to crash fourth wave here, because when you crash fourth wave, you also like set up the potential for a dive, and then because right now it's fourth, so the difference is it's all junglers have to full clear. Fourth wave crash is around like 3:15 when junglers can like free up and actually start diving your lane. So if you crash the fourth wave here, not only do you get it bouncing back once the okay, wait, let's see what happens here. Okay, JackeyLove ends up getting out, but if you crash the fourth wave here, not only do you avoid the do you have the threat of the dive on the enemy top laner, you also have the when the wave pushes back, you'll be able to avoid the enemy jungler on like waves like 5 and 6. So I think JackeyLove just dies here now.
Jumps in, flashes away towards Knight, but he's going to be taunted by Cryan and finished off. Can Knight do anything?
Karsa flashes in here onto Ming. Ming cancels it with the W. Well played by Ming. Ming buffered the W until he didn't get stunned. So overall, it's really good for RNG.
Knight saves the day. He's going to bail out his bot lane again because at least top esports got something by picking up a kill on that Akali. But
what's your review on LPL strength compared to Dom 1? I personally think they're stronger. I feel like Dom 1 is probably getting worse because of the lack of competition in LCK.
You cannot trust your Tristana there. It is just...
Like, think about, like, if RNG ended up going to MSI, how much practice they've got. They get to play against FPX, and they have 2 5-game series in a row, and then they have another match against FPX, and if they're able to overcome it, like, how much improvement they would have been able to do. Where, like, Dom 1, it's like, all right, you played 2 series? Nice, you're the champions. Congratulations. You've won LCK. Like, wait, did they have to play 3 series? Maybe they have to play 3 series, but, I mean, you get the point. Like, they had to play way less games to get there.
Skill check in the same way. You can't get away with the plays in the same way. And once again, Top Esports finished for him.
I'm just really curious what's happening in the comms for Top Esports, because it's clear that they're losing track of where the jungler is or not giving that respect. Whatever it is, I think that needs to be ironed out. Now, I will say that this does give them tempo advantage that Karsa just made use of getting that early dragon. You know, you had Hecarim extend for the kill. It then comes down
2 3-0s. Nice. They played 6 games to get to Worlds.
Kill.
No, you got solo killed in this matchup. Xiaohu, you're a fucking dirty inter for this. You are such a dirty inter for dying in this matchup. It's possible to die, but like you have to miss by.
Bit of bananas happening. You can see it on Xiaohu's face. He's like, "Well, I messed
up." What did 369
oh, well.
spellbook to ignite here or something?
Okay. Not giving that. Just really respect. Whatever.
What did he spellbook to, or did he not spellbook at all?
Kind of
Wow, he hasn't even used his spellbook yet. Nah, Xiaohu's trolling.
Maybe a solo kill. Okay. There's a bit of bananas happening. You can see it on Xiaohu's face. He's like, "Well, I messed up." Oh well.
Look, he's a mid laner, guys. Okay, he's a mid laner. Just forget everything we've said previously. Forget how well he's done on split. He's a mid laner. That's the excuse.
I'm sure chat's just spamming just straight 9s. Okay, what went wrong here?
He must. Well, he just gets
he has to
knock,
blow
right?
his E. Okay, so he eats the devastating smash, and then he's in cannon form and CC'd. Yeah, and 369 just paths really well. That the knockback means nothing. So that was Xiaohu just had to go into cannon. Smash.
Did he have ignite? Let me see.
Well, it's a bit.
I was looking at the thing.
Getting that early.
Oh, he did switch to it. I was looking at the timer. Because I was doing in 5-second increments. Yeah, so he did use ignite.
A little.
I wasn't looking at the fight. I was looking at the spellbook. So here he actually switches to ignite.
That needs to be ironed out. It's clear that they're losing them tempo advantage that Karsa just made use of getting that early dragon. So that.
Those abilities that I never have to say the name of.
Well, now he's
and I'm
pretty
not gonna
screwed.
lie, I don't have the greatest memory. But Knight gonna be able to shove out mid lane here. Sorry, go on.
No, I was just gonna say there's a freeze on Xiaohu, and Knight has left lane. Now he is cheating towards bot side, and Top Esports have done a phenomenal job getting multiple control wards on there to give like a little landing strip, if you will, for the Sakali to just kind of blitz towards the bottom lane. And
it doesn't show spellbook on CD and spectator UI now.
It's also exerting pressure on Xiaohu, which is why RNG are turning to this Herald. Good wave management from 369 to punish Xiaohu not only in the 1v1 kill, but also in the fact that he doesn't have flash, and really good vision from Knight to be like, as soon as I'm not in lane, I just need to disappear, and now I'm controlling multiple lanes at once, and it's allowing my my laners to get whatever they want. So good response from both teams. I like that RNG took the Herald. They basically had to at this point, but much better position for Top.
Oh, the plate not quite grabbed for Jackulov, but it was a close one. And I want to revisit what's happening in the mid lane here, because we have 2 mid laners that actually don't particularly want to fight in the 1v1. They're about even on CS, well, they've each got a kill as well. But it's less about the actual mid lane matchup here, much more about what they can do with the side lanes. And it feels like with Karsa here behind the tower, if Knight can leave that mid lane, maybe we could see a dive happen on the bottom side, but looks like they're not going to commit to anything for now at very least.
It's a little bit scary to dive Xiaohu, Xayah, and Rel at this point, obviously because of the CC that they have on their ultimates, and because there's not available TPs. I do want to very quickly mention, again, all of these control wards that Top Esports have invested into putting into this side of the jungle to, again,
I mean, this game is like just not in the same state that you'd want.
To roam, but to also
that being said, I don't feel like, I mean, neither comp scales super well, but I would assume that RNG
could be heading bot lane, and how that feeds.
I don't know. I think RNG like could be perceived as outscaling here. But it really just depends on how well the Akali plays. If Akali plays super well and Jace plays super well from here on out, I think that they can scale better in the game.
Yeah, you can expect that.
Oh, look, it's 100 Thieves Niski in the chat.
especially since the soul is going to be either Mountain or Infernal. Definitely very valuable souls to go for. And if it ends up being Infernal Soul, well, you've got an Akali. That feels real good. And Tristana as well. Just the ability to one-shot people and get the reset, get out of the fight again, can be absolutely huge for top esports. That'll be up in a minute's time. And Karsa is on the top side of the map right now. And he might be looking to dive. Xiaohu is real squishy. The wave is coming in. Him and 369 should have a free kill on that.
Okay, walk behind the turret. I mean, this is still going to work. This is like 100% going to work either way. I think it's kind of lame that Karsa tanked, though. Wow, this is a big misplay. They should have just let 369 tank. 369 can tank forever. Why does Karsa go in so early? He starts it with Smite, too. He just needs to wait for 369 to grab aggro. Because 369 is going to just E him and grab aggro, and then Karsa can die. But Karsa starts it with the Smite.
There's no flash available for Xiaohu either. Karsa tanking up.
Because Karsa's the damage, and 369 is the, yeah, 369 is the tankiness in this dive. Also, 369, I mean, it was good from Xiaohu to burst the shield off 369, because 369 was going to be able to finish it with him. So that's good from Xiaohu, but he shouldn't be allowed to live here, period.
He was trying to bait Cryan into hard engage on him when they were kind of skirmishing over that brush, but Cryan wasn't pushing it. And Karsa was kind of standing behind Knight waiting, and so Karsa didn't continue. He left his jungle path, looked mid, saw that the gank wasn't going to happen, and then saw that a slow push and crash is being set up by 369 and walked topside. And because the gank didn't work in either mid or top lane, this is now a huge swing back for RNG, who use the Herald bot, who are going to push down this tower, who now have a better position on the dragon. And this is like a perfect example of Karsa sacrifices so much to set up for his laners on top esports, and it's fine because his laners are usually talented enough that they can force those ganks and make them work. But when they don't, you lose so much tempo, and that's what happened to top right now. And they're trying to skirmish to get it back, but if RNG just disengage from them, reset, they can just play the slow.
TES should replace 369 with someone like Flandre to show up their weaknesses.
It seems to be
Nope.
the name of it for RNG. Just play
Don't think
the
that should happen.
intelligent game, but in fact, they're going to opt into the fight instead. Weighs the target. Triple taunt from Cryan, though. He's
Damn.
doing a lot of damage onto Karsa. The shield comes out at the last second.
Cryan played that pretty well.
In the river. Backing away from this
I mean,
one.
overall,
RNG
I'd say that's a one
importantly
situation
gonna
for
force Karsa back,
for
potentially
RNG.
Drake for themselves.
They use Hacker Molt, they end up getting Gragas ult and Kali ult both down, and they get Dragon. It's a pretty good situation to win.
And while the Onslaught of Shadows was used, there still is a Galio ultimate, and the TPs from the top laners aren't available just yet. Of course, 369 sitting on the Ghost because he is using the Unsealed Spellbook, but otherwise, this is the type of game already that looks good for an RNG. So, going back to this, you know, if this had worked out, maybe it's a different story. But this was on top of a bait in an attempted mid lane gank. You know, Knight was playing around with Cryan.
That's really big that Xiaohu lives there. He's not allowed to live there.
Karsa then goes for the dive top. Really unfortunate calculations with the pots there that allow Xiaohu to just survive. But every time your jungler shows on information, shows on a wave, it gives Wei the opportunity to.
How do you think Alfari would compare to LPL top lane? I feel like Alfari's gotten worse since joining NA.
Esports to kind of run into them,
Like, I don't remember him dying this much in top lane
across
early
map.
game.
Continuously play the
As
map,
much as
play
he
the
dies
key
now.
map,
Like, it
and
feels
not
like now
let,
he just,
top
I don't know,
esports
something about his wave management is, like, not as good as it used to be.
Feels like the way. And
He used to be the type of player that would, like, perfectly manage his wave around the enemy jungler, and yeah, I mean, it would be very rare for him to make a mistake in lane phase. But now he makes mistakes in lane phase, like, every game. Like, it's not like he's getting, like, dove and, like, people are setting up, like, really, like, people have an advantage matchup and then they're, like, setting up a slow push into a dive and there's nothing he can do. That's not the way that Alfari's dying. Alfari's, like, dying in ways where it's, like, he's fucking up and he's giving the enemy an opportunity to kill him.
Don't get at least 2 to 3 team fights this game, and that's exactly where they want to be to try to exploit top esports. Now that said, top esports also have a great composition to fight front to back. You know, outside of really the Akali pick, they've got like their 2 beefy boys, they've got a long range Tristana, they have good disengage or engage from Dwo, how he ever wants to use this cast.
I think he
And
doesn't
Akali's
respect
kind of
anyone.
Like the one wild card
Maybe. I mean, I wouldn't say that he's just not respecting his competition. I think he's just making mistakes.
And just going into the game and saying, we need to slow things down. We just need to play around the Dragon timers, play for that 30 to 40 minute mark, and then
Until
theoretically,
C9
we
coaching
should
staff
win.
studied
Whereas Top
Alfari?
Esports
Maybe
need to either
not.
try to break that or get a big enough lead that they can just slap RNG
Like,
with their wallets.
I don't know if that
when it does
necessarily
get to that,
is
20,
prep or it's
15,
just like
20 minute mark,
opportunity
they
in
have the
game.
gold lead and the item lead.
That's going to be what they're trying to get to, is just have that advantage by the time we get to that 20-minute mark. But Herald has been started, and Casa, you can smell it from
From my experience and like from what I know, this is that. Oh my god, it was a missed channel on the Q from 369.
Way gets the Herald and the RNG disengage.
Crying should at least have to burn flash
They don't
there.
need to fight this one. They don't need to continue.
But yeah, from my perspective, like I think that's one of the things that coaching staffs don't normally do that well is like scouting. Scouting and like preparing against enemy teams. Like obviously there is a level of scouting and a level of preparation. But generally speaking, it feels like coaching is more about like trying to make your own team as good as possible rather than like finding the advantages of the team that you're playing against and exploiting them.
They want to take their own recalls, and this is now Top Esports being like, fight, 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 and RNG just recognizing that the best thing they can do against Top is just walk away from them. Just deny them the ability to fight.
I think 5 First Blood says something about prep. I mean, I don't think you prep for Alfari to fuck up early lane phase 5 times in a row.
Team that just wants to fight. This is why I love Top Esports, right? Because they just fight all the time. And RNG are just opting out and saying, no, we will not fight you. We're just going to chill in the early game, and it's fine. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the worst kind of League of Legends. We don't want to chill. We want to scrap. But Gala does have a Gale Force, though, so we are getting towards the point where we can see RNG actually contesting. Xiaohu when he gets to 2 items. Gala when he gets to 2 items as well. You got a Galio with Proto Belt.
Don't
like,
I want to meet the casters? I
Let's be
mean,
honest, it's Galio.
here's a question. If I'm listening to it and I'm not muting the casters, why would you assume that I would want to be doing anything else than what I'm doing?
So now there's kind of 2 questions that I have for Top Esports. It's, with their hard engage, can they force their fight that they so clearly want, which they are setting up? You can see Sion has a really long pathway that he can use his ultimate and maybe get a big flank on this Herald push, as he's going to do right now. Here we go. And is this going to be successful?
I mean, the drift, okay.
Needle 369. It's clean as he dodges everyone. RNG, now the disengage. Once again, we talked about it time and time again, but that route is gorgeous. It's not enough, but it was nice.
Oh, that was so beautiful from RNG, and split the wickets there for 369, as he called it, but the fact that Cryan pulled off of his team, zoned away Knight as he was looking for the flank, and I think 369 Top Esports are just kind of getting frustrated. They're like, it's okay, we still have Prio over mid to get first access into the Dragon. RNG's composition doesn't necessarily have the best way to brute force you off of objectives. You know, they don't have that many skill shots to face check into a blind space. So this is at least Top Esports getting kind of the second Dragon, but they're trading this for, you know, Xiaohu on a tower and getting multiple waves.
Chat, who wins best bot in the West?
That I think we do need to bring up here is it's going to be a Mountain Drake.
I don't know, man. It's really hard to say.
And with
Who is the best bot in the West right now?
Look at the damage profile.
Because it's weird because like I feel like Hansama and Trimby perform the best out of all the bot lanes, at least in terms of like bot lane specific things. If you're talking about like lane phases and stuff, I would say Hansama and Trimby perform the best in playoffs. Definitely outperformed Kaiser and Karzi, that's for sure.
Which is why, you know, I don't want to sound the emergency bell like already, and it probably feels like I'm just, you know, praising RNG when Top Esports like definitely aren't out of this game. But it's simply that little voice in the back of your head that's telling you, you know, can Top Esports, with a composition that is still incredibly active, with a Dragon that will work really well to embolden their composition if it does come to 5v5, execute on it. And that's like my
Mad's bot was nice. I mean, you just didn't watch LEC finals if you think Mad's bot lane played better than them. They actually were like hard gapped in pretty much every single game.
Was waiting in the wings. It was all a bait. His Knight just has to perfect execute out. He'll be feared, but flashes before it goes through. So he'll be able to survive on that one. And you know what, Froskerin? You got a little voice in the back of your head saying, can Top Esports execute on that one? I've got a big voice at the front of my head screaming, Mojo, baby! Top Esports can definitely execute. Knight's on a Akali. Jackie Love's going to show up on the Tristana. I believe in the late game.
And this Akali is kind of the other question that I had of Top Esports before we got distracted by that mid-play flank from Sion. You know, was it 369 who could find a successful engage to force RNG to fight top esports when they're so thirsty for it? And then B, how do people deal with Knight on a side lane?
Why did
you can
Knight
see that if he's
take
left to his own
Fleet instead of
devices,
Conqueror?
he does have kill pressure on
I mean, I
his
think
side.
you probably should have
That's
taken
going to be,
Conqueror this game.
skill
I think
match
Galio,
as well.
like, maybe the Galio lane phase is hard enough where you need a Fleet. But for me, I just think that, like, normally versus other melees, you can get away with Conqueror pretty easily.
And Galio ultimate to deny it, but our eyes do have to stay on Knight. And
Good
how much he can
cancel by
change
Ming
the
there.
course of this game
Ease
by
the Scion
having so much
instantly.
pressure in these side lanes. Oh,
Okay,
no.
Gala uses his
It's suboptimal.
Gale Force to
369.
avoid the Scion ult instead of using his ult.
Hover on that one.
We're gonna call it a
I wanna
false
quickly
start.
mention- Yeah, I want to quickly mention something you talked about there, is that when we talk about Knight and how exceptional he is as a mid laner, I think a lot of international fans were disappointed by what they saw from Knight at the World Championship, because they're expecting him to be like this giga teamfight Orianna, right? Which is the kind of international expectation of what a good mid laner is. But actually, Knight's biggest strength is the laning phase. And when you get into 1-3-1 scenarios in that 1v1, that is Knight's comfort zone. That's where he is truly exceptional as a player. So I think with this kind of comp and with this kind of pick, it actually leans into the strengths of not just top esports, but Knight as a player specifically.
And it also gives him a champion that he can express his skill on to be the difference maker for his team. I know people get really tired of hearing that word, and I apologize, but the fact of the matter is that's what I want. You know, Knight is a great Orianna, but the skill expression on that champion
Yeah,
is
I'll Live-View finals.
difficult. Even if you had a 5-man shockwave, that's kind of it. That's kind of like your Orianna cap, whereas on an Akali you can do so much more. And frankly, in at least playoffs, Knight just hasn't had the same impact that you expect someone of his name to have. And on a champion like Akali, I'm like, okay, yes, give it to me. You know, show me all of the crazy mechanical outplays. Be such an obnoxious side laner that you.
I mean, all these games have been really close so far. I mean, I guess the second game wasn't that close.
Trying to deal with you.
It was close until it wasn't, but the game 1 and game 3 have been so fucking close. Overall, though, I think RNG is happy with this game being close. I think they're happy going later on. Like, as soon as Jace has Mirror Mana, Jace becomes such a broken champion. Assuming this game, he's gonna have to go last whisper third item here. He's gonna have to go the grudge. Serraldo's grudge.
Damage shield will certainly help in the 1v1, at least to subdue Knight and stop him being able to brute force anything. But Wei is sneaking behind, and Knight don't know about it just yet. He could be in trouble here. A TP being channeled as well. Twilight Shroud going to be used as Knight stuck in this one. CC'd up. The perfect execution. No way can he get away with this one. Flash forward from Xiaohu to finish the kill. That was
Joe, make sure he dies.
close to Knight getting away.
Dragon 30 seconds, that guarantees them Dragon.
Macro and objective setup from RNG that
I mean,
leads to Knight
technically, Knight's gonna be up like 5 seconds after Dragon and has CP, but he's not gonna want to TP here and fight it without ulti. They need Akali's ult to fight.
Triangle vision and saw that Knight was overextended bot side and got a very easy wraparound on him for this Drake. This is now your Akali, 15 seconds on. So
Do you think at this moment an NA team could even take a game off an LPL team at Worlds? Yeah, I think that NA normally will take a game off LPL at Worlds because LPL normally plays really like scared at Worlds.
You better believe they're gonna
Like
force it.
LPL teams choke at Worlds literally every year. But sometimes when they choke, they're still good enough that they're the best team in the world while choking. That's like the actual interpretation that I have of LPL. If you watch domestically, LPL teams are by far the best in the world. And then when you watch them at Worlds, they actually like make a lot of uncharacteristic errors. So that's like one thing that you need to understand is that is like while teams are choking the level of play that they're playing at.
Gala's in trouble, but Knight is stuck in the back of the pit. RNG win everything in the fight. Jackulov off to the backside, 1v1 by Wei. In goes Knight, 1v4.
Yeah, RNG's just too strong. This is literally just a mirror of game 1 where they're like playing slow, but they have the comp that scales. Well played from Cryan there.
Says no, but he's jumped away from somehow. Jackulov survives that one, but Gala gets the double.
I cannot wait till we have a replay of that.
Is it choking if it's every year?
I'm fairly certain that was a big difference between Cryan zone.
I mean, they play worse at Worlds. Like, you could choke every year. It doesn't mean that you're, like, not choking.
Him as a tank player. It felt like 369 wasn't defending Jackulov for most of that fight, that he actually tried to follow up on the dive.
Like, the thing is, like, Chinese teams play with, like, the pressure of their entire country on them.
And
like no one actually cares if NA like loses at Worlds, right? Like no one really cares. Like people are like, oh, like they tried their best. Like it's way less pressure.
Now I'm gonna walk over here. I'm not gonna hit anyone. I'm drawing back. Like he's just spending so much time walking back and forth. He finally finds a nice angle that lines people up into a choke point.
I mean, I just think that there's no way that RNG should have got TS to contest it. Like TS had no ulti on a call. That should have been enough to not fight.
Doesn't get to hit anyone. He's like on one of the longest range 80 carries. He's level 4.
But like in China, it's like you are literally like dishonoring your entire fucking country and your family if you don't win Worlds. Like that's the pressure that they play with. Damn, Udyr was on a base. Dude, look at the fucking Baron. It's such a good Baron. Jagulev actually jumped in there. Okay, Jagulev just got one shot by Gala. I mean, Knight is the only hope here, and Gala's still hitting. Okay, it's doomed. It's over.
Man standing for top esports as Gala is able to survive.
What do they take here? I guess they can go for inhibitor mid, maybe? Maybe they just get 2 turrets.
Probably an easy game for RNG. 12-5, closing on an 8k gold advantage in their favor. Surely when this tower
Korea teams choke too? Yeah. Korean, like Asian teams choke at Worlds literally every year.
It's waiting until your
they play so much worse than they do domestically every year. Because of the pressure that's on them. It's so much easier to go into Worlds being an NA team than it is to go if you're an LPL team. Like an LPL team, like you're expected to just beat everyone and you're expected to win. Imagine how much more pressure it is to go in with that mentality than if you go in as an NA team where it's like, we expect nothing, and if you do anything, like if you get out of groups, we're happy. Like that's how bad NA is that you're happy with the results if the team just gets out of groups. That's good enough. That's like a success. Whereas like if you're like an LPL team, like if you're top, like you're expected to win your group, you're expected to like win your quarterfinals against whatever, and the only question should be like, can you beat Dom1 in the end? That's it.
Look, Jagulev has that mojo. We talked about the Jagulev factor at the start of today. He
Munch,
will
anytime I enter a game, I'm gonna be like, it's just my mojo.
Look, trust me. Like, people in solo queue might not understand, but that's okay. They don't need to understand. The only person that needs to understand is Top Esports and Austin Powers, okay? So, other than that, you're good.
Which LPL teams I think are better than Dom1? I mean, I don't think Dom1's that good this season, and we'll have to see at MSI, like, if they level up or anything, but I actually feel like they got a lot weaker. I feel like Showmaker's playing significantly worse. I mean, I know he has, like, an injury. There's no way this works for TES, by the way, even with Hecarim not there. I like how they have Hecarim pushing in the mid wave. This is something to consider. When LPL teams play with like Nocturne or Hecarim, they use the Nocturne or Hecarim as a flanker, and they'll actually have their jungler push in the wave mid instead of having the like top laner do it or the mid laner do it, depending on which champions they are. So they can always keep their their flanker on the flank. So if the Hecarim is mid and there's a fight bot, Hecarim can then get an angle to flank onto the bot fight. If he's the one that's pushing in the mid wave. Didn't actually get a good ult there on Karsa.
It's just to try and keep himself safe. They're just trying to clear the waves. It might be about to happen here from RNG. They may have overstepped. Explosive cast comes in. Way is low. The bomb ticking away, but he survives somehow. Dro over the wall, finished off. The Gale Force in as Cryan is on the back line as well. RNG going so deep for this one, but Gala's just free firing this entire time. Knight trying to escape with his life, as is Jagulev. The carry survived, but Cryan with the double taunt. It's just too beautiful here from RNG as they take this game by storm.
And it's surely going to be.
Yeah, I mean, Gala and Jahu are still up. Don't think they can end, though. Maybe they can end. It's kind of hard to end here. I feel like Knight can stall until Joao and Karsa are up. Maybe they can just get, like, a turret. Maybe get 2 turrets. Yeah, okay, that's fine. They can't end.
Not going to follow up for now. Just clears the way, but he holds on to the game. RNG, as they have all game, respect them and back away.
This is actually pretty important, though, because the Dragon's about to spawn as we go into this replay, and the death timers are low for Sion, and they have double teleport on Knight and Sion, so there's a potential that we come out of this, and if RNG try to hard force a fight on this Dragon to pick it up, and the double TP came from Top Esports, that you could actually swing this game back with long death timers. Taking another look at this one, okay, it looks like Top Esports actually just waved the white flag and gave the Dragon away as we see Gala soloing it. Taking another look at this one, you know, at this point, you just don't have the damage and you don't have the tank stats to survive to the front to back team fight.
Do you do any advising to any
slapping
teams?
wallet.
Not like actual advising.
They're just
Sometimes like GMs and stuff will hit me up and they'll be like, hey, what do you think about these players? What do you think of this roster? But I don't like do any like paid advising, or I'm not like advising teams specifically. It's just like people within the industry that are my friends will like run things past me. They'll be like, hey, what do you think of this? Like, what's your opinion? Because they know in most situations I'll like give them an unbiased opinion.
Wei is going to be the one that face
And Wei is too tanky here. This is without Gala. Gala wasn't here in the beginning of this fight. Cryan actually lives. Okay, never mind. Cryan dies. Gala just murders him.
Another double for Gala. And Knight and 369 left shaking their heads, wondering what happened.
Wow, that was such a good ult from Gala.
The Featherstorm. Drawn 369. They haven't got what it takes to finish this one off.
The Featherstorm behind him because he knew that Gala was going to be behind him there.
Tanky, but how tanky as Gala tries to chase for more. He got himself a triple kill in this fight. But there are supers on the Nexus right now. All RNG need to do is stop recalls happening.
Yeah, Gala isn't chasing 369. He's actually chasing this Nexus tower, and 369 suddenly realizes that he wasn't the target all along.
He knows the game is over. He wants the 1v1. It's not going to happen, unfortunately, for him. As his ult came back up, so he just slams into the wall.
Jao just letting minions end. Okay.
Game number 3 goes the way of
that was a slower game, but I mean, I think that in general, you know, like RNG played it well. They were outscaling, and they just played through Dragon after they got the lead.
Because RNG have figured out the key to victory. Top Esports saw their
No NA team would ever do a Xyle like that. Not on purpose. They might accidentally click behind them, but not on purpose.
Blue side first pick Renekton.
Are they going for the Tom Kench again? Okay, so this is TS's draft strategy. They pick the Tom Kench if Jinx, Varus, and Senna are up because they can pair any of them. I want to see this countered by RNG though. So the Senna is taken away, but see, this is the whole thing that we talked about. So even if you take away the Senna, the enemy team just takes Varus or Jinx, and then they're fine having like a Varus Tom Kench lane. Gala is so underrated. Just think about the fact that Gala already looks like a world class, like top of the world AD carry. Like if you make a top 10 list of best AD carries in the world based off Spring Split 2021, you have to say Gala is at least top 5. If not, you're trolling. Like, who else could you have in there? You have Viper in there. I guess you could put Ghost in there. You could put Ruler in there. And then you have to put Gala in there. Right? Then you have to put Gala in there. Like, you have to say Gala played a better split than LWX. The only person that you can argue in LPL played a better split than him is Viper. Teddy? I mean, Teddy, like, played way less games. And Teddy looked pretty bad in, like, the first games he played. But then he looked good towards the end. He didn't look that good versus Gen G, though. Seemed like Teddy just kind of choked and lost. Like Hansama, potentially. I mean, I think the best AD carry that I watched at LCK this split was Ruler. I think Ruler was on a different level. I think Ruler played significantly better than anyone else. I mean, Huanfeng was good. Gala was better this split. I think LWX is like pretty. LWX is a pretty hard enter. Gala played better than both Huanfeng and LWX's split. But yeah, I mean that's the problem, right? Like so just think about that. Gala's a rookie. Like he's essentially a rookie. Like this is his first split where he actually had like a good team. Wait, is he a complete rookie? Gala LPL. Is this his first split ever? Oh, he played on Dominus. He played on Dominus when Dominus was just like complete trash. Like no one cares about that shit. So he played on like the worst team. So this is like his first year with like a decent team. And now he's just fucking freak. Cool.
Power into the lane and sets you up for great positions.
Played on Sino Dragon and Dominus, which was like the worst team. But like he's a relatively like new player. I mean, he's 20 years old. He's a 20-year-old player and he's fucking insane.
Just look at this comp though, and just think back to 2020. What did Top Esports always like to draft these long range?
Dominus is fucking terrible though.
Really properly team fight. You always stay at arm's length from the opponent. They've got the Jace. They've got the Varus that could very much be a lethality Varus if they wanted to. This is feeling like what we saw out of Top Esports last year with Dro stepping in instead of Yanja on that Tom Kench.
Yeah, exactly. And then to
Okay, so
Too
Tom
many
Kench Varus,
people
like
have
we
a
said.
short mind time span, so they only remember the later games of the split and forget the early ones, which is why people dare say Teddy.
This is what I expected. RNG now pinching the jungle pool. I still feel
Yeah.
like Pantheon's probably the
Let me
pick to
open
go
this
for.
up.
Although with Jace already being shown by 369, they should pinch the top lane pool to make sure.
Pretty much how it goes, dude.
The exact match
People are very
There we go, the Malphite. That was a big
Wait,
one.
why
I
did
was like,
multiple
can't
ones of
let
these
that
open?
Go through. He's just gonna stack the armor.
Thank you for the $25, Jerky's
onto
minion.
Varus.
Too many people have short
more emphasis on having an
short mind
AP
time
oriented
spans, so they
jungler.
only remember the
So
later
Fox
games of Split and forget the
still
early
goes
ones.
through the Nidalee,
Which is
and
why people
paired
say
very
Teddy.
well with a lot of the poke
Yeah,
that
I
we
mean,
got. So
Gumayushi
if
was
you're on
like
Nidalee
pretty
right,
good
Carso will land on.
in LCK in the early games, but like,
I mean, the Nidalee
yeah,
already
I mean, he's
saw
just
Carso
a resource heavy player, and the team looked really dysfunctional when he played on it.
Honestly, but the Lilia ban, the Zoe ban, we'll see what Top Esports are going to finish off with a ban here. It's the Twisted Fate from Cryan, so again, removing that style of play, but the Galio could still be available, but I don't know whether you want to blind pick that.
Yeah, the issue is that he would just get beat out in a lot of pushing power. I love this call. You have to go it blind. You go for the
Okay,
Orianna.
so
It's
the
harder to
Jace
find
was just
a,
taken
mid
away.
laner that can just outpush the Orianna.
Will it just be the
maybe
Karma Senna? I like Karma Senna here, honestly, bot lane. I like the Karma into Tom Kench. I think it's a nice winning lane. So what do you pick here if you're TES into the Orianna? You could just go Victor, honestly. I don't really like the Syndra. I think that Victor would probably be better. But I guess you don't have that much CC. You need CC from your jungler, at least, I think.
Let's just pretend it's 2020.
Wow, Karsa actually played a Lee Sin game on 11.6? I had no idea he played a Lee Sin game. That's fucking crazy.
Especially at level 6, and then especially
Decent
at
Lee Sin
level
game,
5.
though.
It is
Like, the
so
main thing you don't want to see on the enemy team when you're playing Lee Sin is, like, hard CC. So the fact that the enemy team has very low amounts of CC is good for them.
Like you said,
Good for the Lee Sin for sure.
Back against the wall, win to cover. RNG have actually
And Lee Sin versus Olaf has always been a pretty good matchup because Olaf can't like stay on you that well.
5v5 now in this series, and this composition surely fills that out. Xiaohu is no longer on the counter pick. Had to go, not necessarily for a blind pick, but it was into a flex, picking up the Ornn. So still a little bit safer, but can be abused up here depending on how Jace wants to play this matchup. And 369 also playing with a Cole, so feeling pretty safe here as initial itemization to come out. And again,
The
checking
Cole
across
versus
keystones,
Ornn. I honestly feel like every time I see Ornn, I just
ordinary
see it
here.
lose. I feel like Ornn is super overrated right now. I think it's pretty bad.
In terms of picks, I do just want to quickly mention that Xiaohu has a career 0% win rate on Ornn. Now, granted, he's only played one game, and it was in the most recent best of 5. So I am exaggerating slightly with that statistic. But
The stats don't lie.
yeah, it is worth mentioning that, again, this style for RNG, where they have Xiaohu very much playing weak side, is not the style that has worked for them across the course of this split. This does go against the way that this team usually likes to play.
Exactly. Now, I do want to call out a really important word is hold it, Gala.
Okay, just a couple of summoners being traded here. Draw actually taking a good bit of punishment on the way.
The heal for the exhaust.
So, kind of.
I mean, I think it's fine. Like,
although it's
RNG
usually
just
done
has
with
to make
Ignite,
sure
is
that they track the
really-
jungler well.
I mean, I think what Joe
I mean,
was
this
trying
lane
to
should
do was
theoretically
trying to
be
get
really
the,
good for Senna
the
Karma.
walk down there with the exhaust and be able to like tongue lash multiple times. But
Good
usually if you
dodge
go
there
in,
on Jackie
your
Love on the
summoner
Senna
style,
Q.
combat summoner, you
Those
go
types of
right
side steps are
on,
like crucial
as soon as the
early
game
on in
starts.
lane
By the
phase.
time you're
Feels
level
like.
3, level 4, it's back up, and that's usually when you get back into kill range here. So we'll see if it
Okay,
matters.
Ming
I
actually
think
goes
it
for
does
Jackie Love
because
instead of
Gala's
Drow there.
gonna get
Interesting.
health back anyway on the Senna, but otherwise just kind of a head scratcher. Now, what I wanted to point out was the ward that Cryan placed. Cryan placed a ward on
I mean, normally you could just poke them out of this lane really hard because Senna has sustained and Karma kind of has sustained because you can shield in the trades. Just allows you to get favorable trades. Gala canceled an auto there on Jackie Love though.
Even a top lane, which is why I think Xiaohu is also just playing safe anyway, despite being kind of like a ranged versus melee matchup. You expect him to get pushed in, but just to
The
make
dream
sure
comp
that
of
they were
Olaf's
curious
ahead.
with
Yeah, I mean,
what
I
he
just
said
don't like the
he's
Ornn
dropping
pretty
since
much.
He's not traditionally a full clear jungler.
And I think you're talking about Castle versus Way. I actually think that that's maybe the most important matchup in this entire series. We talked about it before the series started, and I think in this game especially, there's a huge amount of pressure on the shoulders.
Nice to
of
see
Way.
TP on Varus. Yeah, I think it's good
Especially
here.
Once a couple of items start to come in for Jackie Love, lethality virus does.
Because you're not really worried about getting all in. by the Senna Karma. You're just you're worried about getting poked out. So then TP works well against poke, because if you do get poked out, you can just TP back. And then you can take a trade like this. So like the good thing here for Jackalov is he can take a trade like this, and then he can back and TP back to the lane, and then Gala has to take a bad base.
Does have the Devour.
Surely not Jackalov and Droll getting.
And even though Gala is like technically the support in this lane, realistically, like he wants to be ahead. Like the Senna wants to be ahead here. So now Gala has to take a base, and Jackalov can TP back. They're honestly doing really well, all things considered, in this lane.
Top to bot, but couldn't go for bot crab because he didn't have prio in bot lane, but he did have prio in top and mid.
Joe tries to stop the base. Doesn't end up getting it off.
For Krugs. He is not running back to Krugs. He then went to top crab and is now back onto his Gromp. So there's actually a window where RNG could have lost track of where Karsa is, and that may give him an opportunity to counter gank on.
Why does chat hate Frost so much? Because they, I think the main reason why people hate on Frost is because like her interactions with the community on Reddit were like just painted her in a negative light, and then yeah, I think that people really disagreed with her like take about LPL having too many like white casters or whatever.
You can expect we'll actually play relatively safe in the early game, because as we talked about,
Cryne's doing really well considering how hard this lane used to be. Both of them are sitting on a biscuit.
Pressure, right? And when you've got winning lanes across the board, when you're able to play towards this bot lane as well, now Jackalov has a tier, feels like Karsa doesn't actually need to be proactive in the early game.
And as we say that, you're right, he's doing a good job of it. There's actually on the way pings for Karsa to get involved with this bot lane. So I expected Karsa to prioritize his Raptor camp and then look for assassination in mid lane. Oh no, he is going for the Raptor camp. And it's given Jackalov and Joe a false sense of security.
Okay, I mean, Joe can maybe live here.
Available. He flashes away from Jackalov and then gobbles him
yeah,
up.
Joe can live here.
Played by Joel, baiting for the TP as 369 gets
okay.
to Gala, but flashes out.
They get one TP. Karsa's coming here though.
Who's here? But Karsa has
Karsa W to the or Q to the minion, like intentionally here to get onto Gala later.
No health left, but the knockup is it going to be enough as Karsa has to back away?
I mean, look at how shit Lee Sin looks though.
Flashes for the kill, answers with his own life though. 1-for-1 so far, and now more TPs rain into the bottom side of the map. 369 low at health. Gala wants to find the kills, but he trades his own life. His Mingle go down. Knight on the backside of the play might just be able to clean up everything.
Oh my god, the Lee Sin ended up having so much value there, but it looked like so insanely hard to play out.
And it was a
like if RNG just backed off, they essentially won the situation pretty hard.
Even joining once they had level 6 and got their ultimates. But look at the key difference. Knight got his ultimate off, whereas Cryan is still sitting on the shockwave. That was a huge swing for top esports. Knight is now 2-0. Karsa is 3-0. And we talked about it time and time again. Do top esports get these skirmishes? Because yes, all 10 players are here, but this is not a true 5v5 set the line.
Good flash from Karsa here.
Fiesta. This is every man for themselves.
Good flash from Zhao on 369's
and at the
hammer
very
form.
End, it is top esports.
And guess what's one of the best champions in the game in these kind of fights? It's Lee Sin. Karsa is able to do whatever he wants. He just plays to defend Jackalov.
I mean, Karsa's super big here.
So much execute damage with his Q. And you know, on
I mean, Lee looked really bad there. Even though he got a triple, it still looked bad. Like, there's so many champions that would have outperformed in that fight. Like, imagine Udyr in that fight compared to Lee Sin. Would have been way higher value.
On the replay came into the off the teleport, he had no mana. He could basically throw a
imagine Lilia in that fight, in a slow fight like that. Imagine Karthus in that fight. Imagine, like, almost any other champion in the game.
Spend all of his cooldowns and now sitting with a blue buff. This is exactly where top esports want to be with their backs to the wall, but kind of taking track of everything that this is going to mean. Now, Cryan still has his flash available. So
Volibear in that fight would outperform as well. Like, I mean, almost everything would outperform.
Lee Sin and Syndra are. So I don't know if I necessarily expect them to be able to kill the Orianna, but I do expect at this point, Knight and Karsa can just walk into whatever river they want as long as they do it together, because their 2v2 is so strong. And if that's, you know, influencing pressure over Dragon or just straight up killing bot lane.
Basic Cyanide to play safe here. He's got a good CS lead, though.
It was a long shot, but he took it.
It's a bit of a reach show, I'm not going to lie. I don't see any universe where that actually happens, but you know, valiant effort. I appreciate that.
Also, everything would be level 6 by then. Trip.
I want to go back to the picks here for a second.
We'll see how Lee Sin adapts to jungle. Like, maybe people are going to start maxing E on Lee Sin in the jungle. I actually have to see for myself how that works out. E max Lee Sin. Sounds troll, but it used to be good like a while back, and they buffed the E so much, it's probably just pretty solid.
Across his career has only played this pick 37 times, but he has a 76% win rate on this Syndra. He is one of the best Syndras in the world, and they're looking to use and abuse that fact. They go for a dive. The kick is beautiful. Karsa, that is just gorgeous.
Karsa's dead. That's actually really bad for him. This is like a horrible play.
He's just running through the whole team. What is this? Olaf 1v3.
He missed a...
That is not fair.
Oh, Wei actually missed the key axe. If he just didn't miss that axe, that was a free triple. But yeah, that was horrible from Lee Sin.
That was a bit of a whoopsie there. I think possible miscommunication. So we talked about the offensive Tahm Kench that the LPL really loves to use, especially when they pair it with something like a Varus. You know, Varus had the wave crashing onto the tower. Lee Sin goes for the dive, and Karsa's standing in front of Dro like, I'm ready to be eaten right now. And Dro's like, I wish I could help you. And suddenly it allows Wei this opportunity to pick up these 2 kills, potentially even 3. So where was the gobble? It was right there. It was a wasted gobble.
I think JackeyLove took tower aggro.
But yeah, I mean, Olaf here should 100% kill Joe. He actually misses that axe.
I'm not sure if it was JackeyLove messing up or Dro messing up. It doesn't matter. A top esports mess up regardless, and it means Karsa ends up losing his flawless game so far.
Either way, it wasn't Karsa's screw up. That's what I'll say. That was a big.
I mean, I see the Frost like the Frost comments about like her having a victim complex because she was getting flamed on Reddit. But like, I kind of like don't even think it's. Oh wow, Karsa actually sold the Gore, or like he refunded the Gore Drinker and went for Stridebreaker instead. Interesting. Stridebreaker release said. I mean, definitely probably some combos you can do where you just Q and Stridebreaker behind them into R. It's definitely something that potentially could be viable. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to not like feel like a victim when you see the way that like Reddit and stuff talks about you. Like, there's going to be so much misinformation about you on public platforms that it's like, yeah, it feels pretty fucked up, I'll be honest. Like, I read so many takes that I've never had about me on Reddit that are just made to make me look bad. Like, where people will just be like, yeah, like, Dom said that NA wouldn't win a game at Worlds last year, and like, they still ended up doing it, so he's just an NA hater, where it's like, I never said that. Like, what I said was that NA was coming in as underdogs, and I predicted no team to get out of groups. I actually overrated NA at the last World, so you should call me an LCS apologist, not an LCS hater. I thought that TSM was like, I thought that FlyQuest was going to get 3rd in their group. I thought TL was going to get 3rd in their group. I actually thought TSM was going to get 3rd in their group as well. I thought all 3 NA teams were going to get 3rd. I thought that TSM would go 2 and 4 in their group, and they went 0-6, so I overestimated them. I was delusional about how good I thought NA was, not the opposite.
And you know what? I'm just watching and waiting for Karsa to get some beautiful kicks off. I'm just
so like, that's like why it's like hard to like read takes about how I'm like an NA hater or something, because it's like everything that I've done is like I've been too positive towards NA. Like, I have more positive NA bias than I have like delusional hatred for the region, for sure.
Nearly was, but the 1v3 is too good, and Cryan manages to take down his opponent's Xiao, who gets the kill.
Like, unironically, like, I know it's funny, it sounds funny, but like, this is unironically what happened.
Other side of his flash, but also to find the window where you could make a cross-map play, if you will. You know.
And then I saw like a comment recently with like 300 upvotes that was like, yeah, Dom's biggest problem is that he never admits when he's wrong, even when proven wrong, which is like something that I don't even agree with. Like, when do I have a bad take about like a team or a player, and I'm proven wrong, and then I just like keep the bad take?
Lethality Virus gets a lot of, once you've got that,
like, what were the bad takes I had? I said that Dignitas was like a bad team. Real quick. Like, I think that was like pretty much proven.
The tower, but they've denied so much gold off of Gala. JackeyLove is feeling great. Now, it is a, what do we call it, fasting Senna, pseudo support Senna, hate this champion Senna.
I'm a big fan of Fasting Senna as the name. I think is a creative name, but ultimately it is actually just support Senna and Ming as the carry. But you know, that's a different conversation. Oh well, See, that's the reason it doesn't work though, right?
When you said Q-Back Skarner was better,
Mikhail's first item of all.
I can't even tell if you're memeing or not.
Here you go, Jackie
She's
Love,
very
But yeah, that was a good example of it. That was a good example where I got a lot of criticism.
Somehow almost
Like,
winning
not
it
only
out,
did I,
really
like, was I just
dancing
correct,
the waves there.
I also played
Gala has to
Skarner. I
respect
played at a
it.
higher level than the other people I was arguing with about Skarner.
Yeah, the nice thing
And, like,
though
the
is that they
only
got,
reason that people said I was wrong is because Captain Flowers didn't agree with me. Where it's like, I mean, Captain Flowers is a play-by-play caster, and, like, I was a professional player.
Or is it bad? Knight's gonna TP in as well. Cryan's here on the seed, but Xiaohu will just be blasted to another universe before the fight even begins. Shockwave comes through, and Knight will be answered with. Karsa comes in. The kick is
Clean
beautiful.
from Karsa, I like that.
Oh,
Good flash from
way.
369, well played. Okay, I like it.
To the fray. That was just beautiful.
And Top Esports will not go quietly into the night. They are finding these skirmishes. They are finding these outplays. The teleport timers, RNG, are not doing a good enough job.
Yeah, and
keeping
later on,
track of
Captain
them.
Flowers, like,
And
I
Knight
did
and
all
Karsa
the
are
analysis. Like, I did the
style on
legwork.
their
I
opponents.
counted
And
the
pole
E usages
competition
versus
when
the
they
Q
get ahead of
usages
the
in
block is
game.
absolutely devastating.
Yeah, I mean, I
And the
did
single
everything
kill
for the game
Jace,
to,
the
like,
single
explain
kill from
why.
Rivera
And, like, any
is
reasonable
going to
person
have
would agree with
hearts
me,
on
right?
the team.
Which is why Captain Flowers agreed with me. Like,
know, this is
I presented him all the work. I gave him the VOD. I gave him timestamps. I'm like, here are like the fights. Like, let's watch them together. Like, let's like discuss it. And you know, like I started the conversation with things we could agree on. Like, I didn't like flame him or anything during it. And like he was like, yeah, no, I agree with what you said. Yeah, I definitely overrated the Emax value in that game. But then somehow I still ended up being wrong in terms of Reddit size. So like, there's just no winning. Is the problem.
Just crisp mechanics. Just always a pleasure to watch Karsa absolutely body someone.
And I feel like, honestly, this is just a treat. I've been taken back to 2020 here. I get to see Top Esports playing the picks that are just so beautiful to see them play. They're playing this style that works so beautifully for them, and this feels like...
And there's this like, yeah, there's this whole fucking attitude about like the community where they're like, admit you're wrong. Like, if you provide analysis on something, and like, let's say you say like, NA is an underdog coming into MSI. Let's say right now I say that like, NA is playing at a worse level than LPL, right? Then if NA ends up placing better than LPL in at MSI, then I was wrong about my analysis, and now I have to admit I was wrong. Like, what the fuck is that?
Doing right now, which is setting up for the flank of the hard engage, and if they can get the hard engage before their health is gone, which very close.
I thought Karsa was gonna go in there. The knockups come out from Xiaohu, but not much of a follow-up there as Karsa's looking for a 2v1 on the backside of the fight as Jackie snipes out the quotation marks tank that is Xiaohu. I don't think there's any way RNG can contest on this one. This should be at minimum a mid-tower, but you know Top Esports, they might just look for...
It's called accountability?
Still has
what do you mean accountability?
Rage. Keep your eyes on his
so if
NA
beats, if NA performs better than LPL LCK, how does that mean that at this point they're worse than LPL and LCK? That's the point I don't understand.
Just the most monumental int.
How does that have any correlation?
I just don't think
so like, if LPL is performing better right now, and my analysis going into the tournament is that LPL is performing better right now, how does what happens at the tournament provide any relevance or context to what my analysis was now? That's the point I don't understand.
No,
like, how does that make me wrong?
This is the team.
Listen, it starts with success.
It starts with success. Top Esports now going to force a fight, defending their towers. 369 has found way in a 1v1, and that's a lot of lethality. You don't get to fight that one way. His 369 takes him down. Gala now trying to back away. Does have the Cloud Rift, so they can retreat real quick out of the play. But we're getting close to the 20-minute mark, Frosk. And I think this is one of those games where Top Esports are just going to blast the Baron at exactly 20. Ming is caught out. The long-range shots miss. And it does mean that Ming survives for a good little while there. But Karsa finishes them off in the end. And Gala, he's basically just tickling him at this point.
But the best part about this composition...
we're not done. Xiaohu goes...
Okay. I mean, this is just a stomp. This game became a stomp really quick.
I appreciate that they're still going.
Cares about super minority? No, I mean, I'm not saying I care about it. I'm just like trying to explain why I think it's like it doesn't make sense to me.
Is that they do not need Baron at all to close.
It doesn't make you wrong necessarily at all, but it could be an indication to reflect on what made you think that and see if you missed anything. Sure. But then you can like review it and like let's say NA shows up and all the problems that they've had all season completely go away. That's NA improving, right? That's not NA playing well originally and then other teams just being worse. Like, because there's tangible things that like happen in the game that you can like discuss and break down. It's not like we're fucking rolling a dice and we don't get to watch the games and it's like whatever the results happen at MSI, like that just indicates everything that happened in the past. Like that just shows everything. Like we'll have to see like how NA plays. Like maybe the macro is better. Maybe people are not like doing these ridiculous herald swaps and losing a bunch of gold. Maybe they're getting better at controlling chokes and they're not like getting punished in the same way that they were getting punished before. All these things can happen. And they're reasonable to happen. Like, yeah, I mean, teams can always improve, right? So, like, it's not like whatever happens is the end-all, be-all of the situation. We get to watch the games. We get to break down and do the analysis of the games themselves.
I guess about the burger flip Baron is it does kind of, you know, it's like building a little coliseum.
To watch.
A little invitation. You're like, you must come over here, and then you set a trap with a Syndra who stands in a bush and just immediately presses all of her buttons on you. Great counterplay. But it looks like RNG are just full desperation at this point. They're just like, they're playing spot the enter. They're looking at their map, they're seeing anyone who's overextended on a wave, and they're just gonna sprint at them. And until they disappear, they're gonna sprint to another person.
369 is probably dead here. I mean, the reason we're not talking about this game is like 10k gold lead to 20 minutes. It's super over. Even if RNG gets this kill, I mean, they're going to lose mid inhibitor turret for it at minimum. Or, sorry, mid tier 2. I didn't realize the tier 2 is up. They're going to lose top and mid tier 2s. Actually, no, they are going to lose the tier 3 because of the Herald. So yeah, they're going to lose the tier 3 at minimum for this. And potentially, so they lost a tier 2 mid, a tier 2 top, and a tier 3 for one kill. They're not going to even get the turret most likely. They're actually going to lose the inhib maybe. Nope, never mind. TS is smart. So I mean, there's just like no winning in this game.
Push it too far. They'll just move up towards the top side instead.
Who cares, RNG? This game is basically over. You either watch yourself lose slowly, or you live fast, die young, and you just speed run this. I say go for it.
I say let's get a kill per minute for top esports. Let's help them with that accolade. Quick shout out to Joao again, who is 0-0-11 on the top Kench. I knew this guy as an aggressive.
Is it even worth flashing there for 369? Not really. It's probably not worth flashing.
And the Leona as well. But playing on these more defensive picks like the Thresh and the Tom Kench, I feel like he has shown that he has more than one style that he can play.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely true. But they also use Tom Kench like a bouncer, walk up and just give you the tongue.
I actually think this is a pretty good comment. I don't think most people did any organized sport or anything that resemble what happens in League. So if you can't understand, so if you don't actually have the ability to understand the stuff that led to a situation, all you can do is see the result and comment based off the result. I think that that's actually like pretty accurate. I think that that's really what it is. Like I don't think that enough people on like social media platforms understand the game on a high enough level to be able to like take value from what's happening and do their own analysis and do correct analysis on the situation. So they end up like all they can do is take the result and say are you right or wrong based on the result, because like they can't actually know if what I'm saying is bullshit, you know? Like, there's people that, like, when I talk about choke control, like, they'll still have in the back of their mind, well, like, pro players are, like, pro right now, and Dom's not currently a pro player, so the pro players probably know better, so maybe there's a reason that they shouldn't control chokes, or maybe, like, they can't control chokes. I feel like that's kind of playing in the back of people's minds.
They need
But yeah, I think that's actually a really good comment in chat. It's a really smart way of viewing it.
A karma Q, Way's already got to be on position. Like, it all has to happen at once. It must be the most wombo of combos. And even then, is probably not enough because you're still dealing with 2 stopwatches.
Yeah, the problem is if you only kill 4 of them, whoever's left on top esports is still far enough ahead that they could 1v5 the rest of the fight. That's the kind of goal difference that we're talking about right here. As top esports managed to grab themselves yet another tower. It is 7-1 on towers when it comes to the map state. RNG literally own no territory, and Knight knows it as he flanks behind the tier 2. Gala dodges the scat of the week. It costs him his flash. In comes Joao with the Abyssal Voice. Jackie is way too far forward here, but it doesn't matter because Tom Kench exists.
Oh my god, that Jackie Q. Holy shit. Did you see the Q damage on Orianna and Karma there? Holy fuck, he destroyed both of them. What is he going to go next? I'm surprised he's not going a Serpent's Fang this game. He's going lethality Varus.
Ragnarok, though. Ragnarok ruins everything.
What is he going? Is he going...
Okay, so Xiaohu does have
Yeah, I don't know what
ultimate,
he's
but
going,
looks
actually.
engaged, but Cryan doesn't have any follow-up. So yeah, the horn comes out, but it means nothing.
We've seen a
Guess
few
it'd be like a
Ornors from
Ghost Blade or
Ghostblade
something.
that have not been
Wait,
ideal.
Ghostblade isn't out of Caulfield's anymore, is it?
With that ability, but when
Isn't
you
it out of
look
Pickaxe?
behind-
I'm not sure. I haven't built Ghostblade in so long. Ghostblade's an item that needs buffs, by the way. I think other lethality items are so much better. Like Edge of Night has the value from the shield. Serpent's Fang is just really fucking OP. There's like never a situation where Ghostblade feels good to build.
You know,
Grudge? I don't think Grudge is that good here.
Credit, you know, you called it.
There's only one target that has armor, and I don't think that he needs to kill that target anyway. I honestly don't think that Grudge is that good here.
On Orn.
It's true.
Like lethality varies, you don't really hit the tank that much, and I don't actually think their tank is actually that
And I
tanky.
will say, like, in terms of the coordination, how they play around an Ornn from Xiaohu, it doesn't really feel like they're on the same page, right? When you see some of these Ornals that we're seeing out of Xiaohu, it was the same in the series against FPX, where it didn't feel like they were all on the same page, and a lot of the Ornals were just wasted.
I feel like.
I mean, I think you could go another lethality. I think Serpent's Fang would be the best buy for him here.
A lane that can pressure.
I think Serpent's Fang is really broken.
Then you don't distract Karsa, and Karsa gets to do whatever he wants. It feels like when top esports fall apart, it's when one of their lanes is on fire, and where Karsa should be playing through like a very specific win condition. In this case, it was night. He then has to kind of baby.
Let's see how often Jackie Love actually autos or like does damage. Okay, so there he is. Way has no armor on him. Let's just see how often that he's actually like having to kill Orin.
And then you see how strong top are.
Jackie just looking to do a miracle steal, but if he walks towards this
Well,
bush,
I was gonna
it's
say
warded,
Top
so
Esports
he's doomed.
are gonna flip the Baron, but let's be honest, this isn't a flip. There's nothing RNG
Ooh.
can do to contest.
Well played
this
from
in
Knight.
this way. Finds that out the hard way. Xiaohu looks for this steal onto the Baron, I guess. But again, Ornal not doing a whole lot here, as Knight is now in a 1v2 with a shockwave. Gets blocked by the Zhonya's. In goes Xiaohu, the 2v1.
Oh my god, the value.
Moment. It ain't happening. The Dawned Shadow is almost enough to finish off Jackie Love, but he flashes out.
I guess that's the value right there. He
Finishes
knew
the
that
Baron.
Orn was gonna end up
It's a
stealing it.
valiant last attempt there, but
Or
that's
trying
all
to
it's
steal
gonna
it,
be,
and
is
then he
the last
got to
attempt
auto
as
the
Top
Orn.
Esports TP in the
So
face
in the
of
world where Orn is
Prosperity,
gonna steal,
Top
it's super
Esports
valuable.
Bring back the mojo and take us to a game 5. I cannot believe those words are leaving my mouth, but they draft their 2020 composition and they make it look beautiful. Screw your meta. Top Esports want to push us to 5 games. They want to keep their playoffs hopes alive here.
Just patting out the
That guy
campaign
dies, by the way, with
just a little
Serpent's
bit
Fang.
there, as it has been a long
Oh, Serpent's
time
Fang is
coming. About
extra
10
valuable
minutes
'cause
ago,
they have
this game
Stare
was
Axe.
won, and Top Esports now with so
Serpent's
much
Fang is really broken.
momentum going into this final game. You can see their faces, just all smiles there. They know exactly what the winning condition is.
The percentage armor pen is
RNG
more than the lethality
back
even
to
to
the
squishes at
drawing
this point.
board.
It has
They
haste.
need to
It's
figure out,
significantly more expensive though. That's
what
the thing that
they're
you're
going
not
to draft for this
considering.
final game. Now they do have an advantage that they will
And
be
Serpent's
able to
Fang has
use
added
that
value because
100%
even if the lethality
win
is
rate in this
equal to the
series.
percentage armor pen at that point in the game,
Very true.
the fact that
to say,
the enemy team has shields makes
I'm
the
really
Serpent's
not
Fang
sure
super
what
valuable.
we're going to be looking for in this next draft because
All right, game 5, boys.
just
It's be the last game of the day. We'll do the other series.
whether or not Top Esports will
We'll do the other
stick
series tomorrow.
to
We'll
give
do the other
them
series
some
tomorrow when we
space.
wake up
You
because it's
can't
kind of
start
late.
losing
the
matchups
day.
across every single lane and then expect Wei to be able to do anything.
Yeah, Sorelda's is
see Top Esports
800 gold more
trying
now.
to play around the fact that Xiaohu is on the Lucian once
Isn't Serpent's
more.
Fang 2600?
He's the
And
standard
on that
sort
patch,
RNG he's
Sorelda's-
so successful on.
Sorelda's Grudge. All right, let's see.
We get the Draven
Sorelda's
from
Grudge
Jackie Love.
is on
Oh, this is gonna be a treat.
11.6. Yeah, 11.6,
Those
it's
who are new to LPL,
3,400
I'm sure you've already heard
instead
it.
of 3,200,
Jackie
so
Love
it's
used to be a Draven
800 gold
one
more
trick.
expensive.
He is the Draven player. It is his specialty champion.
That's a lot
The
of gold,
next
by the way.
step right
800
there
gold
is
is
the-
nothing to like.
the
You can't
champion
just
coming out,
take
he
the
is
items and compare
throwing
that
the
and then throw
gauntlet
away the
down.
800
It
gold
has
and say one item's
so
better than the
much
other.
1v1 and
Not how it
2v2
works.
potential. You pair it with a Rel, there's so much kill pressure, and this is a guy whose bread and butter is Draven. So
I think Serpent's Fang is just too OP there, honestly.
Matchup, but
All right.
Lucian would
Damn, wait, the Draven picked into the Kaisa. I like it. Draven game 5. So, Hecarim banned, first pick, Udyr for Wei. We haven't seen Wei's Lilia the entire series. That's crazy. Karsa on his Volibear. They have Rel. I'm surprised that it wasn't an Alistar here. Oh, wait, no, Alistar was already banned. Damn, actually pretty decent bans. Rel has a lot of value when Alistar is banned, and, like, Tom Kench is also banned by RNG, so Two of the things that are good into Rel are already gone. I like it.
And lock it to at least round out their comp.
Okay.
Just be rough.
So now the Azir lock, so they're locking the blind Lucian top essentially. I mean, there's not many things that are really good into Lucian top.
Blind because it's flexible. Obviously, they're not going to flex it.
Like, what can you really play into Lucian top that doesn't get hard shit on in lane?
Thing is, with the support pick, something like the Leona, I guess, would be available.
I mean, I think the best things are like if you were willing, like if you're one of these teams that's willing to rotate an AP into top lane, like you could pick like Ryze or something top into Lucian. But then you have to worry about diving. Malphite's not bad, but you're gonna lose lane by like a million CS. Gnar is really hard for it's really hard to play into Lucian. But Malphite isn't bad. You're just gonna go really far behind in lane. Aurelia is fine. Aurelia is like pretty good actually.
Some Malphites will max the W as opposed to the Q, and we'll try to keep our eyes on what 369 is doing to get at least through this lane phase and then to that level.
Individual style, both bringing the strengths that we've seen from them.
Wukong can be played, but it's really, really hard. And actually, 369 is a pretty good Wukong player. It's just the early lane phase is really bad, and people don't normally like picking that stuff. It's like if you want to pick for team comp here. Also, I guess the other thing is you want Draven to have increased value, and if you have Volibear and a Wukong and a Draven, you're more AD than AP there. And your Draven gets kind of harmed because it makes it harder for him to deal damage.
Leashless going down now, obviously giving 369 any advantage he can to start this lane.
And Malphite's a pretty good pick for the game. I think Malphite's a solid one here.
That JackeyLove and Joel actually even ghost leashed Karsa and don't get advantage on the wave first, but as soon as Joel moves into that bush, you control that bush, which is why
it just depends on the lane phase. Like how hard are you gonna lose this Malphite lane?
So important on support because if you control that bush, you control the wave. Look at Ming, he can't step forward, he can't contest for this. It means that it's going to guarantee the level 2 for JackeyLove and Joel, which is already so potent on a champion like Rel and Draven, and they're already going in.
Yeah, catching the whirling blades here as Gala steps up. You can't really trade with Draven early on in the lane. That's not a fight that you want to take here for RNG. And importantly, you mentioned that ghost leash. Karsa could find an opportunity and just be on 3 minutes to get a gank on that bottom lane when the wave resets. That could be the moment that breaks the game open if they're able to get kills onto JackeyLove.
And do want to point out that Cryan actually just, with his prio in mid lane, has placed a ward on Karsa's Raptor camp and pinged it, so they at least know that Karsa could either be on his Krug camp or is on his blue camp right now. Now, one of the issues with Draven is to really have your damage stacked, because you have to be juggling the axes, is it's a little bit more difficult to hold waves on this champion, kind of like in the same way that it is for Tristana. You know, the E is automatically going to make the wave bounce, because if you really want to hold the wave, you need to basically only be sitting on a single axe and just kind of last hitting like that. So it looks like they're looking for a slow.
Did anything happen to the opportunity you had to maybe co-stream LPL? No, I'm still in the same spot. Like they're still trying to get me like rights. I mean, it has to go through a lot of channels. Joe actually getting poked out pretty decently here, but that's because 369's already based.
I'm actually
TP'd.
Bit of a Malphite aficionado for when I get autofill top.
All right, let's see the dive.
Here we go.
This is actually huge. If they kill Gala here and Draven gets the kill, it's massive. Such a solid 315 dive. I mean, the 315 dives become like 320, 330 dives. My whole point is like diving after you full clear.
Really good response though from Xiaohu, knowing that he had the wave pushed up against Lucian versus Malphite. He's always going to have control over that wave. You do see that 369 and the observers are showcasing that it's either a freeze or a very slow push. It'll be a very slow push because his minions are focus fired. So it will eventually kind of swell and move back towards Xiaohu, but
super good for Malphite.
His teleport was
super good for TS in general.
And even though
they're chilling in this game now,
and looks like he's going the lethality route on this Draven, so looking for the Sheen, he's probably going to go Essence Reaver into Duskblade.
Wait, is he gonna go lethality? I feel like he's gonna go Essence Reaver into
it is
potentially shield bow here.
Disgusting damage. I'm not gonna lie. You will absolutely start one-shotting people once that lethality comes through. So top esports start things off well, and importantly, we don't have the usual thing that you get with.
It's not a full clear. Well, I mean, here he can't full clear because he's Volibear. It's just champion specific. But yeah, most people will have to full clear.
Massive cash injection. We don't have that quite the same bonus here for JackeyLove. But that's completely fine in his eyes. He already got the extra 100 gold from First Blood, but also
missed the cannon.
You get incrementally more gold.
369 can die here. Yeah, 369 is dead. He's dead.
Bounty. 369 could be in trouble here as Wei just gonna go for the flash bear slap. I mean, it's as easy as that.
There's no TP here, so they're gonna shove it
He
in.
didn't get an
Crash the
opportunity
wave.
for 369 to use the flash. He flashed with the bear slap and then immediately changed into Phoenix, got the splash damage. Udyr is so good at skirmishing early on and is such a potent early game champion because of the raw damage. that
Jiao can get a
happens.
plate
It will
here.
force the-
Oh wait, never
no.
mind. This is actually
This
really
is
hard to get a
so
plate.
screwed.
He should
I
have
was gonna
based,
say,
I
will
think.
force the TP
I feel like
on
it's pretty hard to get
369
this
to at
plate
least pick
because
up
it's
this
not.
wave, but he's already used
Wait,
it.
is it 5 minutes? I thought it was 6 minutes when actually maybe it's 5 minutes where the turrets actually lose the plating. Never mind. It's probably fine.
Because the minions were focused fire.
Either way, he got the plate, so I guess staying for the plate is completely okay.
In heaven right now, as far as how this lane phase has gone. And on the other side for Draven, you already talked about it. You know, it's not necessarily the adoration stack that you really want, but you know, JackeyLove is feeling very powerful.
Yeah, they changed
Like I
it. It
said,
used to be
it's
6 minutes. They
harder
changed
for
it to 5 a
Draven
while
to
back.
freeze a wave than other AD carries if he wants to keep his damage stack up, which is why.
But it doesn't
Karsa
matter.
is
I mean,
just
the fact that he got the
on
plate is all that
stage. He has
matters
to give
here.
so much attention to JackeyLove because Draven will be extended in this lane phase, which means that 369, like,
I would just assume that if you go the S Retriever build, you still are willing to go shield bow.
Interaction before this fight kicks off, because I've got a feeling we're going to 3v3 here, and that's that Rakan specifically is very good into.
It's the good thing about Draven with Volibear. Volibear does dragon really well, and Draven wins bot lane, so you get Prio bot, which lets you do this dragon for free.
Find the knock upon into the quickness to get the charm off the back of the knock up. It's really, really easy to just lock Draven up in that situation and find kills in that way. So important to keep your eyes on Ming in those bot lane skirmishes, as the Drake is taken here by Top Esports. Obviously, infinite priority here for the bottom lane for Top Esports, so it's easy for Karsa to extend that into a Drake. Culling actually being used by Xiaohu up in the top side.
Xiaohu does need to play a little bit more careful now. 369 does have kill pressure now that he has access.
No
to
flash on
ultimate.
Xiaohu.
Here comes the
If he gets
dive
poked
of
by like 3 or
Udyrs
4
in the lanes,
Qs,
but I think
just
that they
becomes
should
an
just
ulti
zone
angle.
them off of
He has
the
biscuits, so
tower
we
and
weren't
pick
out
up
of mana
the
either.
Overreach. Wei is hiding in the bush. Really good patience here from Top Esports.
I mean, it sucks for
sure they were
RNG
gonna fall for
because
that
they're not
trap.
actually like getting anything
not the
topside
sense you expect
out of
it
the
to
Lucian
say,
pick, really, because Lucian
No,
ended
Top
up using his
Esports.
TP to try to protect the dive bot.
If the JackeyLove effect is real, this game will decide it. He's got the Draven. This is very much a carry that he can enact the JackeyLove effect and be impatient. But so far, so good for Top Esports, as they just guarantee a solo plate for JackeyLove, and Karsa doing a really good job to play around his bottom lane and set JackeyLove up for success.
Now, we are checking in on those teleport timers. They're going to be up relatively soon, and this is kind of the big window for Top Esports if they want to like double down on the absolute hell they're raining on this bot lane. JackeyLove, you know, up significant amount of CS, has chipped and pushed Gala off, has a level advantage, has a plate advantage, and as soon as 369 has access to TP, I think that Top Esports are going to roll the exact same play again. They're going to pull down Karsa, so probably a top to bot clear, place a ward behind them, and have Malphite join on this party. If they can seek it up with a Drake spawn for this mountain, it's going to be even better.
This blast cone changes everything, though. Wei gets
gonna have to ult
past
defensively.
the ward. Even
good
has
flash.
to just flash. Doesn't use his unstoppable force. Perhaps
I like the
save
flash
that,
here,
'cause
if you can try to make a
Karsa's
counter play.
And I don't
No
think
flash on
Karsa's
Xiaohu
actually been
for the next like
spotted.
couple seconds. Oh my god, him dashing in like that. Xiaohu play, dude. If Karsa was waiting in that bush like I was dead.
Actually just flashes in whirling.
Damn.
There. Goodbye, Gala. Just gets eradicated like it's pest control in the bottom lane.
Really well played from TS's ball lane. You take this every time. I mean, they're snowballing their Draven. They're playing properly around the Draven.
Very much in favor of JackeyLove, and that's one of the other effects. It's almost like the Misfortune Leona, the ability to just burst and kill a target through the duration of the CC. Rel's ultimate there, just holding you in place for that whirling death. Very cool combination, and JackeyLove is getting pretty big on this Draven.
369 is ult onto Wei.
Goes in, but he's knocked up by the unstoppable force.
Okay, Xiaohu ends up trading. He's dead though. Oh, I mean, I guess they ended up getting the kill. Xiaohu got full culling down, and TS ends up getting it because Zhuo gets the base first off the death. Not bad.
500 IQ right there for the tempo reset. in reality, just really good communication from Joe to know that he needed to immediately run to his top side of the map as Knight's going to go ahead and take care of this wave for 369. We take another look at this one. We talked about it. It's similar to Leona Misfortune in that you can see someone long enough for the duration that you do enough damage with your ADC to just burst someone, and it's only going to get easier. Now, taking another look at this, it's Malphite ultimate into the splitting sky, whatever volley bear just crash lands on you, into Shockwave. Cryan does manage to kind of pick up the back half of it, but then that numbers advantage, like you said.
I wonder if Carson could have like flashed at an angle to stop eating the culling while he was R'ing. So like you flash up and then you R, so you're not eating the full culling. It's like really hard to do that in game. No one would think to do that, but I mean, guess that would be the next level.
Stack CC on top of them, but by building lethality and building just kind of like raw damage, which is why usually
Malphite owns 3 inches. I think it was a good ult. It's hard to flash those ults.
He becomes a poke
I think Wei might have not had flash from the time where he ganked top.
Half health.
Yeah, the trick is if Rakan can CC you, you just
still the Gale Force on Lucian.
While he's in his W animation, so that the CC doesn't go off. It's genius. You just kill them.
Fighting around bot side would be really hard for RNG. They would have to one-shot Karsa in order to do it.
Karsa's moved down to the bottom side. Joel forces a flash away there.
Joe wasted his ult there. It's not good.
I think it was just Ming using the shield. TP coming on through. As 369 is quite happily just chilling up on the top side, by the way. He's just on his Krugs. He has his TP available if something happens, but top esports, they got a TP. They're okay with that.
Yeah, and now here comes Karsa for the reach around. Good night.
Okay,
well played.
Shockwave. Cryan is just...
I mean, TES played this game pretty well so far. Honestly, I think they're playing pretty well in this game 5. I'm surprised that they end up like not winning.
Get some bonus towers, some bonus plates for themselves as well. Shahu moves to this mid lane here. Should be able to defend, and it should just be 3 plates taken in the end.
Yeah, but ultimately it does force RNG out of the river. Now you can see that Ming is still kind of sitting on the pit, at least acting as a human ward and just being like, it's okay. If
I mean, the good thing here is that RNG can potentially get this dragon. If you get this dragon as RNG, you're chilling.
369 now has pressure on the top tower. Also,
if TES get this dragon, I mean, it's super hard to play.
Shockwave down, but top esports are still in a great position.
Thanks for spoilers, guys. This game was 7 days ago. If you don't like, if you're too dumb to realize that RNG won when we already talked about RNG fucking being in the finals versus FPX, like I don't even know what to tell you.
This is an obnoxiously large power spike in the early game. The damage that you do when you cast an ability, which by the way, if you don't play Draven, his W is an attack speed steroid that resets every time he catches an axe. So that is constantly being pressed. You get Sheen procs galore for Draven.
It just makes your damage absolutely disgusting as you can run someone down. So far this game, though, I've been really impressed with how Karsa is impacting his lanes. Again, there hasn't been a lot of pressure. 369 fell down early, but again, Karsa just said, "You're on your own, friend," and continued with the plan, which was bot. Just
have no spoilers for chats that don't know.
Towards the mid lane to catch Cryin.
Well, I mean, I can't like, yeah, I mean, if my chat is on that level of stupidity where like they don't know that when we're talking about RNG, like when we're talking about RNG versus EDG, like the team that won is the team that advances, like I don't know, bro. Like that's just like the level of stupidity I can't even cover for anymore.
Realistically, there's not much kill threat from Shahu anymore, especially once he gets a Thornmail locked in as well. He's going to be completely invincible in the side lane, so Wei is pretty deep right now.
Like, I don't do spoilers if it's like the same day, where it's like there's a chance that people don't know. But literally, this is like, there's like another whole series that happened since then. And they're in the final.
Smite manages to get away with it.
Yeah, I think he felt confident because he didn't notice that 369 was in river. Maybe he thought that he wasn't in lane yet, and so he decided to go in. It got a little bit more dicey when 369 showed back up into the lane phase, but now
not all of us were here for the whole stream. So like literally, you would have to not be here for the whole stream, not know LPL format, also not know like what happened in the match after this, not know who's in the finals. And you'd have to like have not been in the stream for the first 3 hours to actually get spoiled. Like it would have to be literally all those things where it's like it's such a small percentage of people where yeah, I mean there's not a point of trying to cover it.
No shockwave.
Yeah, I mean phase rush exists. There's a whirling death as well. I don't think Knight was
somehow they would have to have avoided Reddit for a week. They would have had to not be on Twitter. Like it's so crazy.
That would have been something else.
A little bit scary though because Wei could flash on him.
Yeah, he is going to flash on him as well. Knight has flash available though.
I mean, oh wait, Karsa choked it.
This one, or has he? Karsa can't actually chase him down.
Karsa fucking choked it. He just needed to Q at him.
And Wei once again answers, but here we go with the bottom side. Once again,
comes
Gala
Malphite.
just eradicated. He gets the shield, finally goes down. Malphite
Jackie is just not killed. I mean, Jackie is so big here. He should just be able to like 1v9 the entire game alone.
As Xiaohu falls.
The fadeaway ignite there to finally take down Jackulov, but the damage has been done. That's 2 kills for Draven. That's a bunch of adoration stacks. This Draven is going to be huge. And yeah, things went a
And if you don't, this is actually that's actually true. This is like the most important part. And if you don't know those things in the first place, then why do you even care about the spoilers or who won? True.
When the dust all settles, it's them.
Like if you don't care about LPL, then why do you care about spoilers? Because you don't. Yeah.
It's the tower falling down into the bot lane.
Shouldn't mean anything to you.
Key flashes being removed off of Udyr and Lucian, and making those champions that much harder to play around.
Well, dude, it's also not like up to date. It's yeah.
Gala gets the killer instinct, so he survives for a minute.
Like it's not like we're saying like, oh shit, like
I mean,
you gotta be like watching every single series.
Let's be honest, that was the extent of what happened there. And he's actually gonna go for the crit build right here on the Draven, where he's gonna go for the Gale Force. Or I have seen Kraken Slayer a little bit, but against this team composition, realistically, I think Gale Force is gonna be the answer for Dracula.
I think it's fun. You're still kind of like that poke-oriented champion then, because you can Gale Force forward and get off an empowered auto on the axe. And then, like you're saying, going for the crit build, you crit them, you have the Gale Force into a single axe. You're still doing the same thing of basically half-healthing them.
And you have a little bit more longevity in your build as well. You don't fall off of a cliff quite as hard in the mid-game, so... Definitely a lot of things to be said about this one. 369 is in a bit of trouble here.
Okay, they need the TP. I was gonna say there's no way they could just 2-man dive him like that.
It's a little bit more difficult. The unstoppable force is actually gonna get him out
Damn.
of this one. And Xiaohu's already used the culling. He's gonna go for the tower dive. Yeah, that I think.
All right, they went really hard there.
In the meantime, Gala has once again been absolutely power stomped by Jackie.
And we were talking about it. You know, Wei and Xiaohu don't have their flashes. It makes, you know, Lucian and Udyr that much harder to play, especially Udyr, who's so reliant on his flash to be able to hit reliable CC instead of just running someone down. So 369 doing a really good job. Yeah, his tower goes down, but
when it's finals and am I watching it live? It's Sunday at
it's gonna mean so much more on Jackulov. Because the thing is
I think it's 4 a.m. Central Time.
RNG that can threaten Jackulov, especially now that the Gale Force
Maybe
is
it's
complete.
different. Let's see.
You know, it's not like they
Yeah,
have
4
the
a.m.
Malphite
Central
or the
Time.
hard engage to dive down.
And Jackulov
Gala
is so
can
big.
try to
Like
ult
he's
the
so
back
fucking
line
big.
like he did
Oh, he
in
went Gale Force
Game
this
1,
game,
but
so he didn't go
Jackulov
shield though. He
literally
went
did a
Gale Force.
two-shot
I didn't
in
think
the
he was going
face.
lethality for sure.
Yeah, and I feel
Gale
like
Force is definitely more of like a risky build.
RNG to be under
But I guess he shouldn't
We
be
have seen
that
Jackie
scared of getting one shot.
dive this 2v2 about 8
Could be
times
dope,
so
though.
far this game. And yet, Gala and Mega like, the wave's crashing. I think we can
I mean,
clear
third
this.
Drake here.
No way they dive.
It's Ocean. TS is in perfect
He
position.
just goes in and dives them. It's like,
They also have decent Baron taking
it's gonna
with
be
this
a
team
dive
as well.
again. Top Esports now get a third Drake on the trot. We're only 18 minutes into the game, and they are on the cusp of an Ocean Soul Frosker. And
They gotta be careful in the
Top
topside river though,
Esports
like,
play
because
their game and
enemy
accelerate
team knows that they
exactly
just
what
took
they're
Dragon,
doing.
so
As
Volibear
Jackie
can't be here.
Just wails on way, but Gala's in. They can look for the shutdown here. This is the assassination. He gets out.
Oh,
Ming
Ming
has to
actually
kill
kills him.
himself and takes
But I
the
mean, Ming
shutdown
getting the
away from his
shutdown
team.
doesn't actually
Now
matter that
Gala's
much,
trouble.
in my
1
opinion.
HP as Karsa looks to close the gap, uses the Q to charge on forwards. Can they finish the kill?
Oh my god, it was a bad E from Karsa. Karsa choked the E. Because Gala had to walk at a defined angle. I guess Gala...
You will always find a
Wait,
way.
does Gala have heal up? No, he didn't even have heal up. So yeah, I mean, he has to walk at that angle, so Karsa should just E in a way where the only way he can dodge it is if he admits to death.
He's like, I can misposition in this river. I can get collapsed on by 20 people.
This is, as they say, the Jackulov effect, right? No matter how
It
far
should-
ahead
it-
you
it
get,
should
there's always a
happen.
way to lose.
In a more traditional team fight, Jackulov should feel really strong and really secure right now. Now, good news is if you're a top esports fan, is that, like you were saying, they're one step away from Ocean Soul. The fact that he's in melee range of Udyr to start this fight.
Why do you think there's
probably
been
not
less
great.
innovation this
But they
season?
don't lose on purpose. Yeah, Jackulov
Around the
goes down,
world?
it's Ming that picks
Well,
up
I'd say
the
a
kill.
lot of
There's
it
so
is
much pressure,
because
so many
of the fact that
lanes.
it's new
Xiaohu
items. So like,
can no
when
longer
people are
compete with
more
369.
versed with the items,
Yep.
And this is how
oh
Malphite
my
goes.
god, he ends up living here.
Oh, no,
Damn,
it's a disaster.
that's so unlucky for
That's like,
369.
that's the second time I saw
Jesus.
this series where
But
he has just
yeah, I mean, I think it's
about
because the
hit
item
on
changes.
1 HP.
Since people are less familiar with the items, and because the items are generally just going to be less balanced because they haven't went through years of balancing. Yeah, I mean, there's just going to be more like blatantly OP stuff, so people are going to just play what they think is blatantly OP.
How nervous are you, Munch? Like, you've now just seen Jackie get caught in River. You've now seen Xiaohu pull back because 369 dives the tower. Not even a little bit nervous?
I'm an ascended being at this point. I have accepted that there is nothing I can do to change the fate of top esports. This is all on them.
You're
they
just
just
on the
have
ride.
to revel. They have to revel in the mojo, you know? This is all about the mojo for them. And you know what?
Do you hear that Mark is moving to the League MMO? Who's Mark? Are you talking about like Mark Yetter? Which Mark are you talking about?
Arguably the strongest jungler in the patch. It's just not played much in LPL. This feels fantastic to me. There's a very real possibility that they just throw at an objective and that top esports get knocked out of the tournament. And I'm willing to accept that. But I believe in the mojo, and I believe that top esports can make this happen. With
it's probably good for him, man. I would way rather like work on the MMO than I would want to work on
Well, it's
like the game itself.
Should be feeling pretty good, as it looks like top
probably way less cancerous. Like balancing an MMO isn't gonna make people as angry as balancing a fucking MOBA, because there's so much more of a casual component to any MMO than a MOBA, which is purely competitive, essentially.
Huge team fight advantage in terms of raw battle stats for top esports, and they also have vision control over this area that RNG will have to check into with basically Udyr.
There's a lot of marks, bro.
Yeah, and I've just checked my watch. It is actually Baron o'clock. So, you know, we've talked about this all series long. Top esports, we're past 20 minutes. There's a very real possibility that they just run at
I think Joe is good. I don't think that Joe's been one of like the top supports in LPL now, but I mean he's a lot better than you and Gia.
369 engaged upon, but he is Malphite, not really the ideal target. And
damn, 369 burns his flash there again instead of ult because he values his ult so much.
Yep, and also has the teleport, so should find an easy reset here. I was curious if top esports would continue to pressure there, try to use a flanking TP, and maybe try to force this, but I think because
thoughts on Rengar and pro play? It's definitely viable at points. It's just like Rengar's the type of champion where you need so many games on it to get good, and it's so niche that it's not worth it for pro players to pick it up unless they already play Rengar a ton, or like they were Rengar main in the past. Holy shit, RNG actually just steal the Baron here.
That they can just burn it, and that's exactly what they're gonna do.
Damn. That's huge. That's huge. That allows them to stall out so much.
They managed to sneak it away. Everyone jumps over the walls. Ocean Soul is spawning in 30 seconds. RNG, they've managed to slow top esports by taking this Baron here. That is a massive steal away. But top esports
Spirit Visit's second item here? Yeah, I'm not sure about the Spirit Visit's second item. I feel like Thornmail's second item would be a lot better.
Ocean Soul will go the way of top esports.
But that's the question. Do you decide just to give
away look at how deep they're trying to control. It's not even that they're trying to control the choke, they're trying to just control deep. They can just one-shot the Soul here. So RNG decided to give Soul here because they had so little setup, and they're just gonna push down mid. That's a crazy decision to make, bro. Who would make the decision to give Ocean Soul in a game like this? Respect. Honestly, that's a tough decision to make. You see almost no teams in the world make that decision.
Both teams just
almost anyone would just suicide it and just try to fight it at all costs because they view it as so like game-winning getting the soul.
So Ocean Soul here, in the long run, definitely the benefit, but in the short
TSM, no, TSM wouldn't make the conscious decision to give the soul. They would like start hitting Baron, and then like the enemy team would start soul, and then they would just like run at the soul, and then by the time they were there, the Baron would have been gone. That's what would happen if TSM was playing. Like that's the worst part about TSM's like decision making is when you watch it, it doesn't look like they know what trades they're going for. What it looks like to me is that they just like end up in a situation and they literally just forget about like everything in the game. They'll be like, oh shit, like Soul is up in 50 seconds.
Don't want to let RNG anywhere near
it doesn't look intentional. It looks like they just don't have like awareness of what's going on.
Multiple stopwatches on both Jackie Love and Knight here. Top esports would actually feel really good to look for a dive because risk versus reward is worth it for them. If they dive, and even if it does go wrong, there's not much that RNG can get back. You know, there's no Elder that's up. They'd have to run multiple waves back in position to trade for a tower.
Isn't Soul ultra good? Yeah, but I mean, RNG can't contest it there, and chances are they're going to lose Soul and Baron, so they at least get one and start, like, splitting the map.
They have the key core itemization that they need. They have the stopwatches on their carries. This is, like, the strongest at this point in the game that top esports could possibly be. RNG are at the critical position. One mistake here costs them their entire spring split.
This spring split, they managed to get first place. They were flawless for half of the season.
Teleport.
Here we go.
Here comes
TP
Malphite.
from 369. He's on the top side of the play here, but it's just going to be to deny the tier 2. Pings on the red buff, actually, from top esports. Jackilov has one. He might look for a second one as well. And
But you can
I will
see
say
how hungry they are for it. Like,
Yeah.
Jackilov
RNG
is
are
huge.
playing with fire.
3-item
They are
Draven.
right on that edge where immediately the snap TP from Malphite comes in, and RNG just have to get the hell out of dodge. Like, okay, we didn't mean it.
this is a tense game. RNG
It's crazy to me that
intercept
Jahu was
first
able to
seed
play
from
top.
the
So I mean,
regular split.
dude,
They
honestly,
fell
mid laners
out
just
of their first
mid lane
seed
players are the most skilled
0-3.
players in
They
like
are here to
professional
prove
level mid lane
the
players,
split
not one tricks
wasn't
and
a
shit that you
fluke
see in
that
solo
top
queue
esports
that
had
don't
to
actually play mid. They just play like
wide.
Talon, for example, or like
Comes
Katarina.
down to the team
Like,
fighting at the end of the day, and
those players don't actually play mid. If you are a versatile mid lane player, you can actually play all the champions that go mid at a professional level. You can play any role in the game. You can play jungle, you can play support, you can play AD.
the actual
play
straight
top.
5v5
Mid is just the hardest role.
but I don't know whether RNG's
But for years, it always was the best role, had the most upside.
Because there's basically 2 minutes for RNG to get as much gold as possible. Now, you have 2 members of RNG on Vision. I believe Wei might have been shown, but you at least see Cryan. I think 369 actually just needs to man up and
One trick
press
ego
on.
going up.
He
Yeah,
needs
people
to
are
start
fucking...
a
Dude, one
fight.
tricks
I
have
actually
such
think
huge
that top
egos for
esports
literally no
are
reason
losing so
to.
much of the advantage that they clearly have at this point by not being able to start the fights. RNG are literally ripping
Like,
them
I think
out of
that
the back. They got
you
Baron,
should
they
literally,
got
because
Surge,
this is
they
the
got
thing.
top
This is the thing that happened to me. So in
teleport,
season 8,
369 couldn't get the
this is actually funny. So you know the season that Tarzan like said that he boosted my account. So that account was literally challenger all season, and I would have been eligible for scouting grounds, but I got disqualified for a couple of the splits because it was every 2 weeks they had like a split. So like they would just take the highest ranked junglers on the server that weren't on pro teams, and they would put them in a thing, right? And it was top 4 go to scouting grounds. So I would have qualified for scouting grounds because, and by the way, like scouting grounds, it was so low at that time, like how low they had to go, that because so many people got disqualified for being like a one trick or they were already pro players, or whatever. A grandmaster player ended up actually going to scouting grounds in season 8, but I would have went to scouting grounds. Well, I wouldn't have actually accepted it, right? I would have qualified into scouting grounds if I had less games on Graves in one of the splits. Like one of the splits, like you could only have like 35% of your games on one champion, and then there was one split where I had like 5 out of 14 games on Graves, and then that disqualified me because I was qualified as like a one trick. Like you couldn't have more than 35% of your games on one champion. Or yeah, in that split in order to like qualify. So like I could have literally went to scouting grounds because there was so little jungle players on the fucking ladder.
There's still Emperor's Divide. They're okay. But this looks like it's going to be a
one trick
trade
pony
for
Graves,
Elder
dude,
for
and it
Baron.
wasn't even like I
Now,
played
the
that
second
much
difference
Graves.
here, and again, top esports have inside track. I think RNG.
And then there
might
was another
actually
split where I actually had the same thing happen with Gragas, because like, you know, there'd be like 2 week stretches where I would just like start playing a champion and I would just want to spam it, you know, like that's how I learned champions. Like I'd play my challenger account and I would just spam one champion for a while. Oh my god, RNG's actually splitting here. Wait, TS can't back. Wait, TS can't back here. Oh wait, this is actually huge. And they stole Baron. Wait, they can't even. Who got back? Who got back? Just Knight? Wait, there's no way. There's no way. They threw so hard. They didn't get one team fight, bro. They played the Malphite comp and they didn't get one team fight. Oh, okay, it's not over. It's not over. Topper's still alive.
And the Elder Dragon is just about to spawn. Yes, top esports, they lost the Baron. They didn't have the empowered recalls, but their Nexus is still alive, and the Elder is up.
Damn.
Multiple teleports
It's
on
crazy
both
that
Shadow
TS
and Crime, but
hasn't
the
got
best
one
timers
team
are
fight
way
with
too
their
long.
Malphite
This is
comp
definitely the
the
Elder,
entire
which means
game.
RNG has
And their
a chance
Draven that was
to
fed out of his
hold
mind.
this game back
Literally
on
4
the
items.
Miracle Steal. The Miracle Miracle Heist they almost played out. They have to outlive this Elder, which again, 369, you are going to have Elder. You are going to have all of the items you need. There's a potential for a backdoor. You need to force the fight on Elder and end this game.
Look at Droz sweeping the base right now. There are 2 TPs.
They're waiting for Orianna to spawn
available
before
for
taking the Elder.
RNG. Cryan and Xiaohu can both make their way.
I mean, it's good to stall the Elder as long as possible because you want to make sure you can get as much as possible with the Elder.
Let's take a closer look at what
You want it to be up as long as
Gala
possible.
Xiaohu, that is a
This
great
W from Gala literally like almost wins them the game
because
it allows him to ult onto Knight. Then Knight dies a lot quicker.
I mean, that really was the difference. The stasis was the difference of the single auto attack of that Nexus going down.
I mean, Gala should have Gala should have healed Xiaohu and maybe they get it.
Dragon to make sure that all members of top esports had respawned, so they all have access to the Elder. And here we are, an open exposed Nexus. I mean, RNG, they're going through the options. Do we just literally
the macro here is
this
like pretty
Nexus
hard.
with all 5 people and just rush it? Do we?
Because it's
try
really hard for
to
RNG to actually
sell
like get an
this?
angle here.
Do we wait for the Elder
Honestly,
and try to
most
take a
NA
5v5
teams would
the
just take it
next
as fast
time
as they
their
can there.
Elder spawns?
I mean, they'll probably stall for a mid laner. I think most NA teams are smart enough to like stall for people on Baron. I hope so, at least.
At these decisions, but they cannot do anything while the Elder is up. They cannot afford to fight top esports with that Elder Dragon available. So we'll have a bit of a stall out in this game. And I just love the kind of how poetic this game is almost, where it's Xiaohu very much the carry on the side of RNG this game. It's Jackie stepping up on the Draven with 8 kills in this game. But Knight could be in trouble. Wei and Xiaohu moving towards the bottom side of the map, but they're spotted on a ward.
I mean, one team has Elder and Ocean Soul.
Maybe Knight can
So huge.
that. With Elder Drake, with his shockwave, maybe he just one-shots them.
I mean, the fact of the matter is that you couldn't have.
Well, Live-View E Masters at some point,
better
maybe.
use your
I'm not sure.
like you said,
I'm
you've
not
got
super
all the
hyped
things
on
that
E
you want.
Masters.
You've
That's
got
why I
a
haven't done any
main
content around it.
protagonist in anime fashion on like their best.
Like, I watched a little bit of it
champion
today. I just don't
they're
have
known
like
for.
that
It's
much
coming
to
down
add,
a
I would say.
late-game team fight, you know, for an Elder, things like this.
Like, I'm kind of just like going by it, like as I'm just doing whatever.
When it mattered,
Just
he
like,
got
oh,
the
like,
smite
shit,
steal
these
against
players play
Karsa.
together now. Like, I don't fucking know what's
I believe it's
happening.
St. Vicious that originally said it. Maybe it was Skara, but basically a lot of junglers feel that the jungler who's going for the steal is usually at the advantage than the jungler who's in the pit. Obviously, this is, you know, dependent on what your composition looks like, how you're going to burst, how you're communicating for the smite, but just credit where credit is due. Wei got the most clutch Baron, and it almost won them the game by disabling the empowered recalls alone.
I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter about who is the better jungler across this series. All that matters is what happens in the next 5 minutes between these two junglers. Wei stepping up to get that smite against Karsa, the guy that we've been praising all series long. We were talking about jungle diff all series long. But Wei steps up when it matters the most. Now Ming trying to clear some vision. Gets kicked out of the base. Elder has worn off at this point in the game. It's up in 3 minutes. Baron is up in 2.
PayPal is being a DK to me and I can't sub through it for some reason, so I'll do it this way whatever. Anyway, the message, nerds donate to Hot Tub stream, real G's donate to IWD's stream.
True. If you're not a simp, you have to donate to IWillDominate stream. True. Facts. I mean, I don't make the rules, dude. OMG Potato Butt makes the rules.
Yeah, unfortunately for top esports, they need to invest so
Just
much
is
of their
what it
time,
is.
In clearing the wards for the potential backdoor from multiple teleports. You look across their inventory, it's all sweepers and scryers. You know, it's multiple control wards. They have been trapped at their front door, just slowly weeding everything out, waiting for this inhib to respawn, and giving RNG so much time, again, to meet them on even footing. What was a massive gold lead in favor of top esports.
Oh shit, you're not allowed to say simp. No, I heard you're allowed to actually say simp, though.
For how this game was getting snowballed so
I thought that myth was disproven. Dude, I don't know the fucking thing. I thought that, like, other streamers said simp a bunch of times, and it was fine. Like, didn't Pokimane say simp a bunch, and it was all good?
For the experience
I don't know.
and the gall to even look for a base race across from top esports, but to turn this game around when from lane phase it looked so utterly doomed. Now RNG's comp is going to feel so much stronger.
And you feel the experience on this roster from RNG. Xiaohu and Ming have been on this team for years and years, and it feels like they are desperate to use that veterancy in moments like this. This is where it all comes up. But Baron up in 15 seconds. Remember, there is a ward in that brush. There could be TP plays to just end the game.
Yeah, and you can already see that Cryan and Xiaohu, they seem to have made their decision. They're basically like, RNG, you need to bait top esports into a fight, keep them busy.
All right, so two people bottom here. This is actually pretty hype.
It's Lucian, and now top
two people bottom. Obviously, RNG are trying to avoid the fight at any. Oh, Knight just failed his flash at the wall, and Gala actually hits his W. It's huge that he hits his W here.
Comes into the play. Karsa moving on over, gets the sun.
The redemption.
Snaps his neck with the ulti, and the whirling.
Snaps his neck with the ulti. Oh my god, Jesus.
Has to go back to base and heal.
So what can they do here?
Fashion, it is not a big team fight.
JackieLove. Oh my god, JackieLove is so strong here.
Damage.
Almost one shots him with the CC.
Wait, this is huge. This is huge. TS get Baron. Honestly, I think can JackieLove solo Baron? If he has lifesteal runes, he can solo Baron, I think.
You can very easily split your team.
Pretty hard to solo Baron though in general.
Recall timers.
Maybe this is it.
Literally on guard duty.
He is the bouncer of the inhibitor. JackieLove, down the mid lane we go as they look for an inhib tower here. Xiaohu, no flash available, no culling available. It's difficult for them to make a play here. That'll be a tower taken. And over to the Elder Dragon, go top esports. They're going to move over and look for that buff to try and end the game.
Here's one teleport. I believe this is Cryan. Now, Xiaohu still has his TP, and that ward is still available in that brush. But again, JackieLove at this point can burn through Elder by himself so effectively and so quickly. Look, Lucian.
Look at the Lucian TP.
Wei has flash here. We're going to see. Yeah,
they're TPing out.
Try and make the backdoor happen. Teleport away from 369 as he goes towards the.
Oh my god, Cryan's is dead.
That's such a massive pick. Wei looking for the steal, but he's shockwaved away.
Okay, wait, Wei actually stole it.
Wei goes down. He sacrifices his life.
Wait, Wei stole Baron and Elder in the same game to keep his team in it.
By 369.
That's nuts.
You may have Elder Dragon, but that Malphite is damn invincible at this point in the game. Top esports lose the dragon, but they win the fight.
And Wei being the hero again, but JackieLove says not today and is steamrolling down this mid lane. You can see that Gala and Ming are very quickly trying to get back into position, but there's no tank available. JackieLove can two-shot any of these champions if they want to continue to push.
I mean, even with Elder, I think they can just run it down. TS could just end here, I think.
Nobody from RNG can stop this wave. Nobody can proxy it. They're escorting the wave underneath the tower. This is the fight.
Oh my god, that damage from Gala onto Joel, though.
Can they end the game?
Karsa gets one shot.
Gets one shot as he goes
JackieLove has to be like smart about what he does here.
One tower goes down. Top esports now moving on to the second tower. 369 moving his way over. Ming jumps into the fray, but so
Zhao's dead.
Pulls in.
It's huge. There's no wave though. There's no wave anymore.
One for one though as Cryan's respawned,
and now they have Elder. Wei got onto JackieLove. JackieLove's gonna die. JackieLove dies to Gala. I mean, he's just gonna die in his ulti too. What can they do here? Can they? Hold on.
JackieLove is down. And
there's no TPs.
More kills for Gala and RNG.
I guess they can just run straight. I think they can run straight and end probably. They can just run straight at bottom him. 37 seconds onto Knight. That's the first person up that matters.
And it's JackieLove that leads them to their disaster again. 369 is left alive. Maybe he kills Wei, but you can see it. The death timers are massive.
Malphite was such a good pick this game.
To end this one. I think he's going to have enough time.
Gala's already ending it. It's 19, but no one's with Gala.
At least get the inhib.
No one's with Gala, and Follow Bear's up. I mean, I think Gala's still okay. Dodges out of that. He's life-stealing off the minions. 7 seconds on Orianna. No, he can't end. Damn.
This point still has the Elder for another 30 seconds, so Karsa cannot contest. Pings towards the Baron from both teams.
That's a crazy game.
Across the map here. Both Nexuses barely alive. This is as close as it is possible to be in game number 5, our first elimination match of the bracket. It couldn't be a better way.
You can see it on Joe's face. He's like, I'm aging 50 years by this game. Please, God, get me out. Oh my god, I thought for certain that JackieLove had done it and then that it was going to be disaster again when Gala got the kill off the Elder.
Gala gets the
Gala gets the Baron.
Kills go the way of top esports.
I mean, honestly, Gala's in a pretty good spot here now. I would take a 6-item Kai'Sa over a 6-item Draven, depending on comps, obviously.
369's had to go back to the base. In fact, 369's only just respawned, I'm pretty sure. So RNG offer the respawn time as they do get the Baron, but again, it's difficult for them to use it on the map.
Again, at this point, though, it is, I think, maybe 2 autos away from pushing down that Nexus tower. You know, minions that or not, the super minions are pushing back in. So top esports again planting their feet. There's no more Elder, I believe, to deal with, or it's just about to fall off.
There's no engage for RNG except for Crying's ulti.
Damn, this is actually such a tense game, dude. This is such a hype game 5. Imagine a game like this in game 5. Holy fuck, it's so insanely hype. Like, obviously now we know the result and like we know who, like, you know what happened. But just imagine in the moment, you're like in the fucking stadium as a fucking viewer. And you're watching this game. Not only do you get 5 games, you also get this as your 5th game. Like, how fucking worthwhile is your time spent? Like, how good do you feel afterwards? How much more willing are you going to be to fucking watch League of Legends in the future? This is the type of game that can make you, like, a fucking fan for life, dude. It's like you're in games, you're watching, like, Game 7 of a fucking, like, NBA semifinals, and you're there, and it goes to overtime. It's like that type of feeling.
Again, a disaster. And now it's just like, this is a tug of war. This is going to come down to execution. This is going to come down to who gets one shot or who face checks into 369. Like, I don't know. There's no more analysis. I'm sorry. Someone's going to blow up.
There is no analysis. There is only hype at this point in the game. We are in a, what, 4th?
I don't play the game and I enjoy watching. Yeah, I mean, I'm the same way with other games. Like, I don't play Dota ever, and I enjoy watching professional Dota. I haven't played Valorant in probably a year. Since the beta came out or whatever, I still watch, like, Valorant tournaments. I never played CSGO. I watch CSGO tournaments. Like, I feel like watching competition at a high level is, like, just really entertaining in almost anything. I mean, I loved sports before. Those sports that the sports that I played were actually the sports I liked watching less. Like, when I was a kid, I played a lot of baseball. Like, baseball was just my best sport by far, right? But my favorite sports to watch were football and basketball.
I assure you I can outflash.
And I never, like, really played. I mean, obviously I'd play with, like, my friends and stuff at, like, school, but I wouldn't actually, like, play like, on a team.
Yeah, but the thing is,
you watch Hearthstone? I watched TFT. I watched TFT with my girlfriend. We watched the finals or whatever.
That's a flash out from Joe. I'd say Ming wins that trade ultimately.
Aren't you Puerto Rican? Yep, I got the Hispanic blood. Of course, that makes me a good baseball player.
Pressuring the map and pressuring all 3 lanes to give them control over the spawning Elder in about 30 seconds.
You Heat fan? Absolutely.
Xiaohu back. The top wave will still be in their advantage.
I played tennis and baseball. Like, those are my 2 best sports. I mean, I played 1 season of basketball at school, and I played 1 season of soccer, but not, like, enough to actually, like, call it, like, my sport, you know? Like, baseball for me was, like, not only did I play on, like, my school team, I also had, like, my own, like, little league that I had practice for, like, twice a week, and then I had games on Saturdays and Sundays. Yeah, I'll do, like, summer baseball camps where you just go to, like, a camp and do, like, 4 hours of practice and then a game every single day. Like, nah, I played a lot of baseball in my life. It's, like, my first thing. I think it helped me a lot, though. I think that it honestly, like, gave me an advantage when I joined esports. It allowed me to, like, have already experienced competition and, like, you know, even though those things don't matter as much, when you're a kid, like, you feel the pressure when you're playing in, like, the finals of a baseball tournament. Okay, wait, the double TP? The double TP is so much value. Oh my god, it's over. It's over. It's over. It's over. There's no way Malphite can stop this. Damn, 369 did the most he could. Holy shit, RNG won. Baseball in South Florida is pretty big. It's huge. It's huge. What position did I play? I played shortstop. Baseball.
Pull out the TPs, pull out the clutch plays. They make the back door happen.
I was like, I mean, I was like pretty decent hitter. I never had much power. I was pretty skinny growing up, so I didn't have like much power, but I was like pretty good about getting on base and stuff like that. And I played the game like well, but I was like really good at fielding. Like that was my that was my best thing. Fucking love playing shortstop. That's actually such a sad way to lose. Damn, RNG actually just played better macro throughout the game. China has no macro, by the way. Any LPL has no macro? People in chat? This is like the best game to show. This is literally the best game to show if you say LPL has no macro. All right, guys, I'm out. I know it was kind of a late stream today. We're going to watch RNG versus EDG tomorrow, and then we'll watch the finals live on Sunday. That's the plan. So I will see you guys later, and then we'll be starting doing gameplay streams next week. So yeah, I'm going to be done for now, but I'll be on tomorrow morning, and we'll watch RNG versus CDG. All right, peace, guys.